And you are looking live tonight at Erik Speedway, Bradford, Vermont. And tonight, WQWM along with WYKR, proud to present another exciting evening of racing from the only dirt track in the state. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ken Wells, along with Chris Smith. And Chris, I don't know how they missed the weather. That was about 4 miles from here. I was over to Farmway buying a shirt about an hour and a half ago, and it was a torrential downpour. But here, smooth sailing all the way around.
In this year, they really need to get one in. They've had too many rainouts this year. You know, I was coming down on the highway. I had my doubts. It was absolutely dumping, but come through the woods to the ridge, and I'll tell you what, it is gorgeous, sunny. I think it's a nice 75 out right now, and the cars are running. No doubt about it. It's been great. I was doing a Babe Ruth game over in Morrisville earlier. It was about 90, so 75 will work here. Of course, we're closed in behind the screen right at the 50-yard line, and this is the mid-season championships, and the Wolf is the sponsor for this week, and it's double points night. Chris and I talked about that off mic, how they're trying to catch up for the rain dates they've lost there. So the Dirt Car Sportsman Modified, the Dirt Car Sportsman Coupes, the Sportsman Modified Limited, the late models, Dirt Stock, the Ridge Runners, and the State Mini Sprints all have double points for the midseason, and they will catch up with a couple races that they've lost to moisture, and certainly affected our broadcast schedule as well. We're still working on that, and they will make up everything. They did it last week. They're going to do the same tonight, and that's a very fair way to make up the points leaders in all divisions, don't you think? Well, double points night, something like this is great, because when you really look at it and get it down to the brass tacks, the fans want to see it. It's more intense racing, because with the amount of races that they've missed, it just makes it that more intense to set up for the championship later in the fall. And with a mid-season championship like this, it's all the more reason to come out to Bear Ridge if you haven't come down yet. There's going to be plenty of racing all through the night, so definitely make your way down, or just keep listening on the radio. We love it. Yeah, either way, we're okay with it. We'd like to have you here in person, though, because, you know, we'll do the best we can to paint you a incredible picture. As we have the view, it's a panoramic view for us on this quarter-mile track. But to be here live and to smell the fuel, I was always big on that, covering NASCAR down in Loudon. Just love the smell of that expensive fuel. And it was always cool to get down there and hear the roar of those 700 horsepower engines. We don't quite get to that range here, but you know what? Those race drivers and on tracks and stuff, this is where they start. You work this way here. I don't care if you're Dale Earnhardt Jr. I don't care if you're Bobby Labonte. You started somewhere like this in America. Well, local racetracks like this are the backbone of racing. You know, we were supposed to have a couple broadcasts out at White Mountain Motorsports Park. The first one we had didn't work out. I think we have a couple more scheduled. Well, we were there. They just wanted to race when we got there. This is true. We got there. It started raining. We had to pack up and go home. We were ready. We were disappointed. But I think there's a few more scheduled. And then there's Thunder Road and a bunch of other tracks around that just really farm through. And I think it's really, really important for the culture out here, especially in Vermont. Absolutely. And, you know, the thing is now with this racing here, they're rolling about 5 o'clock. We try to get on between 6:30 tonight, of course. They're already rumbling around the track. What they do is they'll have a slight break when they go to the random draw for the race later tonight. A very different format that you do not see at Thunder Road. You don't see it with the big boys. They have used this over the years. It's a tried and true formula for them. I usually see one thing or another. Either you run in the preliminaries, like they're doing right now, and whoever finishes first, they're the pole setter in that feature. Or you do a reverse order. If you're in first, you will start 10th or 12th, whatever your car count is for that particular race. Right now we've got 2, 4, 6, 7. So if you end up in the standings in 7th, like the number 51 is right now on the track, you start up front. And so they don't do either one of those things. They have their own method here, and that's part of what makes it unique here at this track. And that's what they decide to do generally, and that will cause some kind of a break. But we've got lots of tremendous music here tonight and a lot of facts and figures for you along the way. So we got plenty to talk about here. Beautiful night for it. We're at the mid-season already. Can you believe it? And a lot of races still left for us, and a lot of races at this track, because they run a long time here. And you take a look at their overall schedule for the season, and these guys are going to be here for a couple more months. They don't just get out of here quick. It's a long season, not dragged out, but played out over the course of the summer, and certainly a lot of action to go. In fact, they will run until October. They start in May, and they don't end
until October 12th, the fun day, the 4 to 6 cylinder enduro and stuff like that. Demolition derby as well. You know, that's a good time. And the points and stuff, they won't really come to a head until the week or so before it. And that would be on the 20th of September. So they get a long ways to go. We're only in July. They've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more dates this year. So racing, as they said, there's a reason they call it the mid-season event. They're only halfway done.
Well, you know, the culture here is to love racing. That's why here they call it race day and not race night, because they've probably been out since 9 o'clock this morning getting cars on the track. The faster they can get rolling, the more fun they have.
No doubt about it. I get here about 5 generally for these broadcasts. As we said, we go on between 6 and 6:30, and most of the time 6. They're all rumbling around the track already, and you can hear them coming up the road. It's kind of exciting because you can hear everybody revving up here. It isn't like they stopped and just started 5 minutes ago. They've been at it for 3 hours.
There hasn't been a time that I've come to Bay Ridge on race day, whether it be 10 a.m. or 5 o'clock getting here for the race broadcast, that I haven't heard the rumble through the woods.
No doubt about it. You know, you can expect a lot of thrills tonight. The robberies are great, the photo finishes, and maybe even a few surprises. Fun fact, Bear Ridge got its name when a bear wandered through the construction site back in '68. Ever since, it's been known for fierce competition and hometown pride. And whether you're a trackside with a maple creamy or tuning in from your porch, WYKR is your home for every lap. Exciting options here. And, of course, this 4-hour radio show that we put together here, we try to keep you interested. And we actually covered a little racing, too, along the way. But most of all the personalities and paint you a backdrop here. And certainly we want you listening live to 101.3 FM, AM 1100. Stream on WYKR.com or fire up the WYKR app. All those are great ways to go, and we're very happy about it here tonight. They brought it back. Great job by the owner of the station, bringing back something that was dormant and something I think that the community liked. I know we're treated pretty well down here, so I have to feel either they're big fans of Chris Smith or they want us here in the building. It's one of the two.
Well, I'll tell you what, looking out of the track right now, we talked to some of our buddies next door, John Sleeper and Norm Rue. Or did I mix that up, Ken? I think I got that one right.
Norm Rue and John Sleeper, and we will use those veterans, and they've been here over 30 years. So Chris and I have to concede the fact that they probably know a little bit more about this track than we do.
Well, that's perfect for the show because people tune in to see racing or hear racing, but it is a radio show, and we will have music. We have an intense lineup of racing-themed songs, some classics, and some ones you might not have heard before. So,
yeah, that was a great feature. Kudos back to the staff at the radio stations in North Haverhill and, of course, Wells River. And that was a real good addition. And they try to work hard to tie in some racing-themed music. And I love that idea. That was whoever came up with that idea, I'd give them a little bonus there on the end of the month payroll. What do you think?
Well, I think the idea is all Josh's, so he can write his own paycheck.
Okay, I guess he's the that's why he's the boss. You know, that's the boss man. You got to come up with ideas like that along the way. We also use Justin Valero for the pit interviews, and unless you're Chris, who is fast as a deer, and one time last year at the last second he had no preparation. They said, "By the way, you want to do the interviews on the track?" And Chris says, "Yeah, I'll do them, man." And he did the sprint down there. And it's a good 100 yards down the stairs. He has to leave. We're on the 3rd floor. He's got to go down 3 flights. He's got to sprint through the bleachers. He's got to go through the fence embankment where the flagman is, and then he's going to get down on the track. He's the only one that could have done that and get right back up here as far as that goes. And plus, he hadn't done it at all. And that bodes well for your career in broadcasting because sometimes you got to get your feet wet. Maybe you aren't totally comfortable with the whole scenario, but sometimes you got to go, and you did it. You did a great job.
Well, I appreciate that, Ken. It was I'm a hands-on guy. It seemed like a great opportunity, and got a little dirt on my shoes. Why not?
You sure? That sounds like a country song right there. I believe it is. It may be in our playlist tonight, but we'll see how it plays out. So we've got a lot of different groups running tonight, and just to give you an idea what we got going here, the Sable and Sons. That's a dirt car Sportsman Modified, and that's one of the big events down here as far as competition. And then you get the Wells River Chevrolet Dirt Car Sportsman Coupes. And the Coupes, that is their calling card here in Bradford. And I can't think of a week where that wasn't the biggest race here.
Well, the Coupes are always the main event. It's Bear Ridge, the home of the Coupe. And there's some of the loudest rigs that you can hear. It's why you have the rumble through the woods. you can hear it far and wide, Ken.
No doubt. Dad's 4x4 Tool and Supply. That's the Sportsman Modified Limited. That's a very good grouping, too. Once you get into Sportsman division, you've got some high-powered V8 automobiles in La Valley Building Supply. That's the dirt stocks. They'll beat it up in here. There's one of your vehicles that even if it was wet, they don't give a hoot, do they?
No, you will get it done, get it rolling, get the ride going. And I'll tell you what, one thing about Bear Ridge is they don't just do racing now. It's all about the fans. Remember last week or this week, Ken, Tuesday night, they had the second time that the Pond Hill Ranch Rodeo, I'm hoping I said that right.
You did.
Off the dome there, came and they dumped a bunch of dry dirt onto the clay. And they had a rodeo. There's no other way to say it.
I came to it last year. I thought it was spectacular. We actually broadcast it. And I understand that the riders of Bulls got a little payback this year because last year, let's face it, the Bulls kicked the snot out of them.
Well, yes, this year I think the riding was a lot more competitive. They had actually an impressive lineup. If I knew more about Cowboys, I'd give you the stat line. But they had some what seemed to be world contenders because you think about World Rodeo Championships, this and that. What do they do in the downtime? I was wondering that myself the other night. This is what they do: the smaller events, getting going, honing in their craft. So there were some real pros. They got
to keep their game up there. I don't know if that's a good way to practice when you got a 2,200-pound steer trying to beat the tar out of you. But I guess if you're a cowboy, you understand that.
Well, I guess that's why they do it. We're lucky that we didn't have to see the ambulance at all. But I will say this, Ken. I don't know if you heard about this. I was in the stands on the other side, out in the middle of the track, and they had a Mustang get loose, and it ran into the woods over out by turn 3, and a bunch of them had to get on their horses. It was like a scene out of Yellowstone, and chase that thing through the woods and get it back in a trailer.
And that horse, I heard, went all the way to Newberry before they caught it down, right?
Thing was rolling.
Woodsville Power Equipment, those are the Ridge Runners. That's a good class, too, a long way. And Joe Mama's Sporting Goods. That's the 4 to 6 cylinder Enduro. And we've got some of them on the course right now, 2, 4, 6, 8 of them getting loosened up here. And these cars, I don't care how good you paint them, whatever, they make about 5 laps and they're all smashed up.
Well,
they carry more dents than any vehicle that we have on the road. Now, I know you can trade a quarter panel and you can trade some parts along the way, but these guys take a whooping, and they believe in the old credo, rubbing is racing.
Rubbing is racing, especially here at Bear Ridge. I point out, and I say this every week, Ken's probably sick of hearing it, but the Ridge Runners have got to be some of the most rugged cars they pull out here. They're basically a late model style with a lot more dents in them, and they come out there, and they don't just race. It seems like sometimes they enjoy the hit, like a free safety, seeing the receiver come around the line.
Well, they got you lined up, no doubt. And, over the years, Bear Ridge has hosted numerous divisions, including the iconic Sportsman Coupes, which we just patted on the back, which pay homage to the modifieds of the 1940s. This blend of tradition and innovation keeps fans returning season after season, and that's what they're all about here. The home of the Coupes and those designs, they are nostalgic. The 1940s, so they're going back. My goodness, 85 years, and thinking about that same design. And they're celebrating their 58th consecutive season this year, 2025. And Bear Ridge Speedway stands as a testament to the enduring spirit of local racing and community engagement. And Chris and I have said this many, many times. It's a family affair, man, here at the track.
It is a family affair, family entertainment, and family prices. This is one of the some of the cheapest entertainment you're going to get as far as food goes.
Oh, food is top shelf here. I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10. The fries, the chicken, those are my personal favorites. Cheeseburgers are solid. And if you get out of this cubicle that we're in, although it's not that small, we're a good 10, we're a good 15 by 15 room here. It's a little better tonight because we've got 2 fans cranking, a double one coming up behind Chris, and then I got the big one driving up here at me. That makes a big difference because, man, 2 weeks ago, we were blistering in here.
It felt like we were in the oven.
It was 90 degrees, and when you opened the window, I think it went up to 100.
Oh, it was brutal. That's summer racing for you, though. You don't expect to see that kind of thing in Vermont, but, we'll take what we can get.
No doubt about it. So they talk about some of the classes here, and they give a lot of credit to the sportsman divisions. The track's premier class. Expect fierce battles and close finishes. These are the fastest cars on the ridge. Now, obviously, we're not talking about those midgets because those 1,500 horsepower motorcycle engines on a car, nobody's quicker than them. They've got to be the fastest, right? Just by the sight of line here, they are quick around the track.
They got to be some of the best sounding ones, too. They come around.
It's like a Kawasaki 1500.
Just like it's Bike Week, you hear it come around. You know what I mean? It's not the low rumble. It's that quick, high pitch, just zoom, and they're bumping.
the Building Supply dirt stocks, those are gritty. They're aggressive. That's a fan favorite, too. These races are unpredictable, though, as they are exciting. You don't know what's going to happen in them. And then, of course, we talked about the Sportsman Modified Limited. That's a proving ground for future stars. Chris talked about this. Drivers are hungry, they're young, and they're not afraid to go 3 wide. And that's how you get better as a driver. The Sportsman Coupes, that's a division rich with history and character. These old school machines from the 40s bring a timeless feel to race night. And I know the premier class to some people is considered the Sportsman Modified, but folks, this is all about the coupes. We've said it before. We're going to say it again. Then the Power Equipment Ridge Runners, that's compact. They're tough. They're full of surprises. And you really can't predict a winner in that class. It is tough. You don't know who's going to sneak up and steal the win. And Joe Mama's, Sporting Goods, those are the 4 to 6 cylinder. It's chaos all the time. That's what that class is. It's chaos in motion. Long format. Anything goes. Races are a crowd favorite and a perfect way to wrap up a night when they get on it. Right now, the Sportsmen are entering the fray here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. And number 7, that looks like the Batmobile to me. Rolling out here, that number 2 in the Sportsman area.
Oh, yeah, look at that. It's got the blue and the black.
It's got the,
intimidating.
Man, that is a Batmobile if I've ever seen it from there. And, of course, this July 12th race is brought to you in part by our friends at Wells River Savings Bank, longtime supporters of local racing in the community. And this is where legends are made and rivalries born. With every lap, this little track in the hills reminds us why dirt racing holds such a special place. And this, folks, is America. And that's what we do in America. We don't drive around and daintily try and pass and not touch each other. We grind it out in the mud, and we bump each other all over the track. That's America.
I think I'm getting a little dig at open wheel racing over there from you, Ken.
I actually like it. I really do. And they go 225 miles an hour.
Those
and I think it's getting better. But I would have to still favor NASCAR and the whole theme behind that.
Well, you can get into NASCAR more. You know, you look at Europe, you look at F1. It's more of a it's harder to get into. It's more of an upper class thing. There's nothing wrong with it. But,
and it's not American. I know there's American drivers. I don't want to get too far on my soapbox here. But America, we like to hit each other 220 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's a little more fun.
Yes, I think it is. No doubt about it. And covered it. I'm prejudiced because I covered it in Loudon from 96 to 2018. Back in the days, in the 90s and the 2000s, when they had 110,000 people there. I know the crowds are down now, and I know F1's doing better, but they're all good. They're all good.
There's not a single driver in the Cup Series right now that I don't think could drive it from 40th to 1st. And then you look at F1, and I think a lot of the reason that it loses appeal in the U.S. is that, you know, if you don't start in the top 3, the odds of you even passing for second are close to none. It's all about qualifying.
Yeah, and you know, the Mercedes dominated that while back, but man, they've handed over the reins, and they got a new kid in town, and he's had a 2-year run like nobody.
Well, are you talking about Max Verstappen?
Yes. Love the name, too, by the way.
Yes. He was with, he's been with Ferrari his whole career. He's actually going to Mercedes next year. Him and Lewis Hamilton will be on the same team.
And Lewis Hamilton has been about the most dominant racer there. But that's Mercedes. They can buy their way to the top.
This is true. I mean, you look at a lot of the engines they use. I actually learned this recently. F1 teams share engines like it's nobody's business. You got Ferrari running a Mercedes engine. Haas will run a Ferrari engine. And so on and so forth. It's really confusing. Whereas NASCAR, you could just jump in and watch the Daytona 500 like it's nobody's business.
Yeah, the engines are supposed to be virtually identical in both sports. And certainly that's odd, though, that you figure Mercedes, hey, we're going to drive Mercedes. That's our flagship. And so we're not taking any other vehicle here because that is that's our dig right there. Simple as that. But that is not the case, apparently, with that. But it's exciting. I've gone to a couple of them in Montreal. I'm not saying it's as exciting as NASCAR, but it's good.
It is good.
It's good stuff.
My favorite part about F1 is the pit stops. Easily enough, they impress me so much. They're like 2 seconds, I think, is the average, something like that. It's crazy how quick they can get rolling. But I will say this. There's been quite a few fires in the pits in F1 and IndyCar just because of how quickly they're dumping the fuel into the car.
And you know, many drivers and fans at Bear Ridge work the 9 to 5 grind all week to race or spectate on Saturday. And next up on our musical choice, and we got some good ones, folks. They did a great job back at headquarters, is a salute to every worker, including our Saturday night racers, your hands-on, hard-working crew. Here's Alabama with 40-hour week for a living. This is Alabama now coming your way during this quick timeout. for a living. And some fun facts there. Released in 1985, the song became an anthem for American labor, earning the Grammy, the country performance by a duo or group. Alabama performed it in front of 80,000 workers at a UAW event. It spent 1 week at number 1 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart. The song is known for its opening guitar riff, inspired by a Ford pickup engine. How about that? That's a redneck city all the way around. Today, it remains a popular tribute at Labor Day track events celebrating working class pride. And that was Alabama reminding us that everything is built on hard work, and every racer here at Bear Ridge lives that week to week. They're underway again here, still through the preliminaries right now, going hard here on the track. The track is getting drier and drier as we go, and it was funny. I get out here and we talked about not getting a lot of rain here. Well, the guys with the hose at the entrance area basically came out and dumped another several hundred gallons of water there back there, just so it wouldn't be too dry. I think there is a fact that you can have too much traction.
I would agree with that, Ken. I mean, you look out here as the race goes on, the track kind of gets hot because it's not soft dirt. I mean, I've been out there quite a few times now. It's pretty rugged. If you had your eyes closed, you'd think you're walking on pavement. So, I would definitely agree. That's why I think we see a lot more crashes later on into the night because they're just losing the track.
Track is they're getting a bite of it, and if you get better traction, the hits are going to be harder, no doubt about it. And they're clearing off the track here now. Another group coming. Their pace as the season goes on. The guys who get them out of the pits and gets them rolling, they do a good job. And here comes the legends right now.
Tell you what, these are probably some of the best paint jobs that we're going to see all night. A lot of these guys.
Why is that? Because there's so much surface area on the walls. Is that why they jump out at us? Because they are beautiful.
I would agree. I think there's plenty of room. I think also, I would assume a lot of these guys run their own businesses. I would say to maintain and build this kind of car, because it's the most unconventional looking, I would say it's probably more expensive to run a car like this on any given night as opposed to the Rich Runner or some kind of late model. So I'd say you'd need a pretty decent sponsorship to actually get this on the track. I mean, look how clean those cars are.
Yeah, look at number 26, Jeremy Huntoon there. He's down in 11th place, but that car is spick and span. And look right beside him, Jeff Huntington. He is in the top 10 standings there, that number 3. They're sparkling out here, aren't they?
Well, I would also say that on any night, it could be any number of winners. I mean, obviously, Jason Gray is your guy to look at every night. I mean, he's leading the point standings.
He'll start ninth in this grouping here.
He will, but, it'll be interesting to see if he kind of stays back a bit. I think a lot of what he does is he stays back during the heat races, keeps his car intact, because he's confident that he can start anywhere during the main event and get his way to the front.
Yes, because that's the main thing for these guys here, this warm-up here, because it doesn't affect their positioning when the race goes, although Gray just moved up from 11th to 8th, just like that. They're just getting the feel of their car, how it runs. They're 3 wide on the backside, and how they run and operate over the course of the real races. They're all real races, I guess, but the points races, and they're double points tonight, which is even more incentive. They have to come out there and really put it together on what they got to do early on. And sometimes they'll run several laps in these warm-ups there, and by the time they're done, it may not improve their position, but they're going to know where the car is tonight. Will it hang into the corners? Will it run tight? Will the cars turn? Will they adhere to the track? They can find all that out during these warm-ups.
Well, besides practice, I would say a lot of the reason for these heat races, from a business standpoint, would be entertaining the fans to get here early. And you show up at 5, you're still watching hours and hours of racing because there's never not someone on the track. And I think, people rolling in about 6, 6:30. The main points races haven't started yet, but there's still a decent crowd here, and they want to see some racing, so why not get it rolling?
And they're seeing a lot of it, because you got to figure that this preliminary is not part of their main event here, but they're getting those extra 10 laps, and they're getting them in every class, so they're getting 60 more laps of entertainment.
Well, I remember my first time at Bear Ridge would have been, ages ago. I feel like I'm dating myself here. I know you always say that, but that's
because I'm 60.
Yeah, well, that's fair. That's fair. But it would have been probably older than Josh owning the radio station. Yep. And I came here with my dad, and we watched all the heat races, all the preliminaries, and I was thinking, wow, that was a great night of racing. We had a good time. And then on come the cars one more time, and we were there for another 3 hours. There's a lot of racing to be had at Bear Ridge.
You really get your money's worth here. They do a great job here with the ownership, and there's this pride in having just the the only dirt track that's left in the state of Vermont, and that pride, you can feel it, cut it with a knife, and that works out very well. And this heat is coming back the other way. You may be able to hear it, but you've got to remember that Chris and I are behind plexiglass, a huge plexiglass of 5 feet by 8 feet. So it's just like having a giant TV set is what we've got in front of us, Chris, huh?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take this big screen over the one in my living room any day because we have live racing right in front of us here at the Ridge.
No doubt about it. And another big group coming out, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 more of these rigs coming out. And again, that number 44, what a beautiful paint job on that 44. It just sparkles all the way around the track. And I give them credit for the work that they've done on these rigs here.
That 44, that's Michael Danforth Jr. He's sitting in 6th in the standings, the Wells River Chevrolet Dirt Car Sportsman Coupes. And I'll tell you what, he's 6th in the standings, but he's always running up front every week, week in and week out. And I think these rainouts have really, really killed some of these drivers as far as planning for the long run goes, because some of these guys kind of ease into the season, get going. But, that kind of killed that strategy. But I will say this, with it being double points night tonight, we could see a guy in 6 end up in 1st by the end of the night.
Boy, this is the night you got to suck it up and get up there, be strong. You got to have your best performance tonight because double points, my goodness. That's just getting you right back in the standings. If you're down, just like you just said, Chris, the double points are just huge. They're 3 wide on the backstretch here. And they back off a little bit, though. These are preliminaries. They're not going to wreck their car trying to get through some warm-up laps right here, that's for sure.
Well, that is also, there's a large downside of double points tonight. If you're running 1st, 2nd, or 3rd in your standings and you wreck out, I mean, everyone is going to be worlds ahead of you. You could see yourself in 13th by the end of the night.
Well, that said, a spin out on turn number 2, and now that'll break for the action. The caution light, a caution flag, not the caution light, although they do have caution lights here on turn 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right. And so they do have caution lights, but mostly we watch the flag man, the main man right in front of us. We've called him the general because what he says, it seems to go, except for the Admiral, which is up here near us. And the Admiral has the most clout here, but he's number 2.
He is. I see. I would not want to mess with her over there on the far right. She has a broom on the wall and a little witch hat that says room parking for the witch. So that's not the kind of person I want to argue with.
And that's the owner's box, too,
yes, sir.
Over there, working hard there to present a good show. Each done out, good for them. Now, we're going to take a little break here. We're going to send back to Joshua Smith there. He's our quarterback tonight in Mission Control, and he's going to run some outstanding advertising here as we are a little bit past the 7 o'clock hour. We're going to be here till 10 o'clock tonight. We're glad you joined us on our sports radio automotive show, and we try to get 7 or 8 of these races in a year. And this is, we've been hurt a little bit by the weather. This is only number 2. Can you believe it? But we have a few more coming down there. We'll talk about that later, too. But we're going to send it back to Wells River for these interesting ads coming up right now.
The best things in life get passed down. A good fishing spot, Grandpa's stories, or Dad's truck that still runs like new. At North Country Ford in Lancaster, they believe a great vehicle should stick around long enough to become part of the family. That's why their trucks and SUVs are built to last, and why they treat customers like neighbors, not numbers. North Country Ford wants to give you something dependable for your next chapter. Visit their friendly sales team at 29 Middle Street in Lancaster. North Country Ford, built for living, not just driving.
Here are some examples of why you should consider doing business locally at PTO's Auto Repair in Bradford. In addition to automotive repair, they source tires from multiple tire vendors to get the best price. Custom exhaust work is one of their specialties. They are a WeatherTech floor liner dealer as well as Extang Trifold and Tuxedo tonneau cover dealer. Chris, Terry, and Wyatt will provide you with the latest tips, tricks, and advice to help keep your vehicle running smoothly all year round at PTO's Auto Repair, Bradford.
At Lady Shay's, comfort food comes handmade and home style. The chicken is as tender as Shay's heart and as crispy as her humor. You'll definitely need to find more words for delicious after trying the mac and cheese. So, whether you're swinging by for lunch or looking for catering that'll make your guests smile, we promise food that's hot, fresh, and full of Southern-style goodness. Follow us on Facebook for truck locations and catering details. Then, come get yourself a taste of home. Lady Shay's. Look for the white truck.
This summer, protect your home or business from pests with True Pest and Rodent Solutions. Conveniently located in South Reigate Village, they provide expert pest management to keep rodents, wasps, wildlife, and insects out of your space. True Pest and Rodent Solutions serves Vermont's Upper Connecticut River Valley, Northeast Kingdom, and Northwestern New Hampshire. They deliver more than just services, they deliver solutions. Visit True Pest and Rodent Solutions, LLC.com today. True Pest and Rodent Solutions, not just services, solutions. When you need 24-hour roadside service, contact Legendary Towing and Recovery at Bradford Auto Works. Their drivers are qualified and trained professionals. They follow guidelines by the American Automobile Association that is put in place by major motor clubs. Here are just some of the services that Legendary Towing and Recovery offers while working with local and state police when needed. Emergency roadside services, lockouts, and jump start, including EV and hybrids. To name just a few. When you need 24-hour roadside service, contact Legendary Towing and Recovery at Bradford Auto Works.
Back again at Bear Ridge there. They're slowing down the whole crowd. We had a couple little scrapes on the track. No big deal there, though. And then they go back into their workload as far as that goes. As we said, this is the mid-season here. And one of their big sponsors they have here is Red's Auto Spa. That's located on 14 Forest Street, Woodsville, New Hampshire. That's right next to McDonald's. They offer 24-hour touch-free auto wash, 2 self-serve wash bays and vacuums, a clean place to clean your car. Family business, owned and operated for a long time now. Be sure to give Red's a try for your next auto cleaning, and they do a great job bringing in sponsors for the track, and they have a big part of this, and Red's is proud to sponsor tonight's racing at the Ridge, and hope you all have a great night. And we've got our own personal list of outstanding sponsors. You heard a few of them a few minutes ago. And certainly among them, True Test and Rodent, Bradford Auto Works, PTO's Auto Repair, North Country Motor Sales, and they were all outstanding, and we have a number more of them, too, along the way. And now we have a little pause in racing because we have number 121 wrecked up there between turn 1 and turn 2, so things have quieted down here a little bit.
The vibe of the whole night when you wreck during the preliminary races, because the fans are here, and as much as you want to see a little bumping and banging, you want to get the main event started. And having to dump the wrecker out, which is the second time it's happened tonight on this race, having to pull the wrecker out, get everything going again, I definitely think it wastes a lot of time. So getting going as far as from a driver perspective, I think you would do your best to avoid racing too hard in these preliminaries, especially when
I think most of them do.
They do. And I think we're seeing a younger class out tonight. I think a lot of it, it's a youth night. We're going to see some kids in the cars. Some rookies, yeah. Exactly, which I think we'll see. I think we might see a little bit of a demolition derby.
Made it laugh when you and I went down to Woodstock, which we have another race there coming up in a few weeks. And they had all those 14 and 15-year-old kids, and we laughed because they can't even get a license to drive down the road. And here they are on a racetrack going 90 miles an hour in a quarter mile or a third of a mile oval. It sounds odd, doesn't it? You can't drive on America's highways, but you can sure as heck raise some hell here at the track.
Well, I'll tell you what, you see that younger and younger, they got those little battery powered, whether they're John Deere's or little you don't talk about those little plastic cars you can rip around your lawn for younger kids now with the big battery in them,
yes.
And it gets them going. I've been seeing those. I saw my neighbor's kid with one of those. He's not 3 years old. I'm going like 20. Down the driveway and those things. I'm like, he's going to be a heck of a driver one day. They start him young.
Yeah, they certainly do, and that's the only way you can start to end up being a good driver down the road. And the track here, they've done a wonderful job. They even feed us. I mean, what the heck? The first 2 times, Chris and I were rookies here, so we figured we'd go down and very meekly pick up a couple cheeseburgers and some fries and whatever else we could get our hands on there. And last year they said, we're gonna feed you guys too. And I said, well, if you insist, bring on that delicious food, because if you open the door downstairs, you're going to smell some really good smells wafting up to the 3rd floor because heat rises. And what happens is we get about 2 hours in it. No, we got 2 hours left. And all of a sudden, cheeseburgers, chickens, French fries, and they are delicious. Come rolling up the stairs.
Well, it is some of the best track food in New England. And when we interviewed drivers about it, most said the fries were the best thing on the menu here, and I have to agree because I don't think they're frozen. I think they're sliced potatoes, and they go in the deep fryer.
It's a big old-fashioned slicer.
Exactly. Yes. How can you beat that? You cannot. And for the prices they have here, I mean, it's probably cheaper to come to Bear Ridge, pay for the price of admission, watch the race, buy some food here, than it is to go to McDonald's with a family of 4 these days.
I absolutely agree. It's definitely true because fast food is not inexpensive.
No.
You know, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I went to another place the other day, which I won't say who it is, but they got a redhead with pigtails as their logo, and a couple burgers, a couple fries and stuff. $27 later, I'm like, wow, so much for cheap prices there. So this food is outstanding, and you go from there. And you know, in the summer, I was telling Chris I did a Babe Ruth game today over in Morrisville. We've been doing Little League this week too. That'll be all done by tomorrow. A lot of the sports are kind of quieted down, so racing certainly can take the front of all these weeks that are left here in summer, which is another 8 weeks probably, although I realize in August at night gets a little cooler, but we still get those 85-degree days. This is crazy next week. We're going to be 90 every day, as you're probably aware of. And that is really the number one attraction here, because once we get to the end of August, I was looking at our football schedule the other day. We're going to start rolling football because now there's such a shortage of officials in the Green Mountain State. They play Thursdays and they play Saturday nights.
Really?
So we'll be doing football Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 1 and Saturday at 8.
My goodness.
Or at 7. Oh, yeah.
That's exciting.
So right now, car racing is king.
It's got to be.
Right now.
I mean, it's the best entertainment you're going to get in the area, and we keep talking about it. But for the price of entertainment, I mean, you really cannot beat this to get into Bear Ridge, or now, weeks like this, turn on the radio. Get the family together in the living room, get everyone in the car.
And our real goal is we want you being at home, and we want you kicking back. We want you putting your feet up on the couch. We want the dog, your well-trained dog, to bring you over your slippers. And if mama is going to work with you, maybe she could bring you over your favorite cocktail, whether that be coffee or orange juice or whatever. But we want you to be comfortable and listen in here, because this is more than just saying, here comes number 7 down the backstretch. This is a radio show where we'll talk about anything you want to. As far as that goes, we're sports-minded individuals, and car racing is here too. The preliminaries are still going on. They'll take a break. And then, of course, we're going to throw it over to our boys here, and they're going to talk about some of the racers, and we're going to pick up the play-by-play on the end of that too. If you folks are familiar with us now, we did 5 races here last year. We did a couple over down in New Hampshire. Now we've slowed it down to a crawl here, as they're going to have It's Kids Night here. And so they are going to allow the kids to jump in these cars and roll around. Now, we talked about the fact that the preliminary wasn't going to be worth points or anything. This is just a joyride for little kids to get out here on their cars. That's the family atmosphere. And if you don't think it's big, well, what do we got? About 150 kids lined up at the gate and just waiting for the word to go on the track so they can get in their favorite car and ride around the track. They're very careful. They don't go very fast. But these kids, young and old, and some of these are not kids. These are teenage girls and boys, and some older gentlemen and ladies too as well. And they're going to get on, and some of them are coming out of the pits with kids in their cars, like the number 1 Hodge right in front of us there, and they're already loading up. They're going to pack them up here, and then they're going to go around the track. And now people are running onto the track because they know it's Kids Night. It's the mid-season points, and this gives them a great opportunity to just take a little ride. And that's just one of the things that makes it Americana and makes it family, Chris, you know?
Well, we were talking about it being a good family environment tonight, and I think Bear Ridge came out and just gave us our evidence right here. I mean, where else are you going to go that does this? I haven't seen this at any other track in the area, and it is.
I have not either. I have not either. I was the MC over to Groveton. I never saw it there. I covered NASCAR for years. Of course, those little big boys, they don't do anything like this, of course. That'd be just crazy if they did. But for hometown tracks like this, they're putting all the vehicles on the track. And I know you can look at it and say, well, that takes time. Well, it does take time, because we've already got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 26, 27, over 30 cars out there. And the kids now are running on the track, and they're going to jump on with their friends, their relatives, or just trying to get on a car that they think is cool. And they're going to let these kids ride around the track here. And it's part of a special night. They've got a good crowd here. And you know, some of these kids, they thought about this all week.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I mean, it goes on the calendar. You sit there and you're looking forward to it. It's a reason tonight's bigger than any other you might see here. And it's because a lot of the kids coming to the track, all they want to do is race. I mean, that's why you're here. So the opportunity to take some laps with a car with a nice paint job, I mean, can you really beat it? No. And you counted about 30. I think
They're still coming in.
They're still coming in, and the pits are full of cars just rolling in. I'm impressed.
They take the time to get them out here, and they've stopped right before turn number 1, and they are lined up. And you know what? Out of this group here, I don't know which one, Chris, but some of these kids are going to go home, and they're going to start dreaming about being a driver, and this is going to spawn some drivers here out of this group. Some girls, because there's more and more girls in it all the time. Girls are good drivers. And then certainly a ton of little boys here are going to say, wow, what a thrill that was. And they're not going to forget this. And this is going to bring your next generation of drivers into the fray.
Well, there's a reason that Bear Ridge has so many classes and so many young drivers. I think this is great on all aspects, but it definitely works as a good little farm system to get some loyal drivers for the future. And you mentioned some teens. There's some 15, 16-year-olds that in the next couple of years could end up racing at Bear Ridge. So it's not even just a long-term impact. They're built for the future right now.
They certainly are. And so a pause in the action here as they're coming to a halt. It's about 7:30, and now they'll give the kids a chance to get around the track here. We're going to send it back to Joshua Smith, our quarterback back in Wells River, and he's going to play a block of outstanding advertisers. And folks, they're part of this in a big way. They're part of the family of these local radio stations, and we hope that you go out and try out their services and take advantage of the prices. They're hardworking, great craftsmen in New Hampshire and in Vermont, and they're coming up right now during this timeout, as you will hear some of the best advertisers that we have in the area right here on WYKR and WEWN.
Has your car driven over too many frost heaves, potholes, or muddy ruts? Does it handle poorly or veers towards the side? A state-of-the-art four-wheel alignment from Moonlight Auto often results in a smoother ride, reduced tire wear, and better gas mileage. Like Moonlight Auto Repair on Facebook, Moonlight Auto Repair in Fairleigh, 51 Lake Morey Road at the junction of Route 5 and the Lake Morey Road. Call 802-333-4300.
Where a bargain becomes a steal, that's Bargain Building Products, located at 1315 U.S. Route 5 North in Fairleigh. Look no further for a great deal on doors and windows. Bargain Building Products is a proud authorized dealer for Ply Gem and Silverline windows and patio doors. They can order wood, aluminum, clad, and all vinyl. They can also order custom replacement windows. It's where a bargain becomes a steal. Bargain Building Products, 1315 U.S. Route 5 North Fairleigh. Open Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturday, 8 to 1.
Napa know-how.
At your local FMS Napa Auto Parts store in Bradford, you'll find hot deals. Claim a $25 prepaid card with purchase of AAA battery. Claim a $20 prepaid card with purchase of a Legend or Legend Premium AGM battery. There's big savings on Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil, too. Hot deals through August 31st at your local FMS Napa Auto Parts store in Bradford.
Napa know-how.
You're out there doing the work, hauling, raking, and planting. The last thing you need is mulch that fades, floats, or turns weird in the rain. Kirby Mulch Company uses clean Vermont wood, handpicked by loggers who know their trees. No pallets, no paint, no mystery mix. Just mulch that stays put, holds moisture, and keeps weeds in check. Choose red, black, brown, or NEK natural. And you can order right online. Your yard will end up looking like you hired a pro. Check it out at kirbymulch.com.
Buckle up, race fans. This week's local race coverage is proudly fueled by Oliverian Automotive in Pike, New Hampshire, where precision meets performance. Whether you're tearing up the track or just need a tune-up, trust Oliverian for expert diagnostics, honest repairs, and ASE certified service you can count on. They keep your ride race day ready. Visit oliverianauto.com to book your appointment. And remember, when the green flag drops, Oliverian Automotive keeps you in the driver's seat.
So we're back here, and we have not moved yet on the track, but we've got about 150 people lined up. And Chris was funny during the break there. He says, wonder what the liability is when you have kids that are 4, 5, 6 years old riding on the back of your car, and you've got a bunch of, well, I said 30. Let's make it 60. There is a ton of vehicles out here, and now there's 200 people lined up at the gate getting ready to go on there, young and old, girls and boys. And they're into it in a big, big way. We're just past the 7:30 hour here, and we still have got to do the random drawing. That's still coming up too along the way here, and it's a very busy night at the track. And certainly, I think most of the preliminaries are done, though, Chris. We are through that segment of the evening. They've run hard, and then at 6 o'clock, a little before 6 actually, then they really run them one right after another, because we've had basically no breaks until now. And now we have a large break. This will probably be a break of, 45 minutes, because it's already been 15. They're going to break for at least another half an hour, because they haven't even started the parade here as far as that goes. And then they will have to go and reline up and then get them back out here too. And so that's what people came out here for tonight. And that's what basically we're looking at right now on the track. One of the things that they do that makes them a neighborhood track. And certainly that's a great deal for them. You know, hard work, never quit. This track fits the gritty, nose to the grindstone attitude of dirt track racing. It's a great ramp-up song that's coming up next before the main feature. And when grit and determination matter most, this tune hits home. Jason Aldean brings us The Only Way I Know. That's Jason Aldean reminding us when the track gets rough, the tough get going. Jason Aldean, The Only Way I Know, coming up next. And we're back again at Bear Ridge. Jason Aldean just doing a great job here. And that song was released in 2012. It peaked at #1 on Billboard's Country Airplay chart, featuring Luke Bryant and Erik. The song highlights country music's modern crosstalk. As we are still waiting for more kids to go on to the track, there's still another 70 or 80 in front of us to get on. They haven't moved the cars yet. There's over 60 cars. I can even count them. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 30, 38, 9, 42, 45, 50, 53, 56, 58, 61, 64 cars are on the track, folks. If you can picture that, staying at home. And they're from all divisions here along the beltway, if you will. And all of them are trying to take on 2 or 3 kids. And there's a few more. And I guess what they're going to do is try and load every single kid here that's basically in the stadium. And I told Chris, I said, well, if you want to go get some French fries or something, this might be your best opportunity, because we are at the point where they are going to take their time with this. You got to be careful with little kids. That's for sure. And that's exactly what they're doing right now onto the racetrack. Drivers are being very patient as well. Now they're letting in the last 50. They're edging out there and trying to get on the track. And then they will take 5 laps, if not 10, slowly around the track. And when they come back, they're going to start their random draw. And then I think about 8:15, 8:30, we're going to get into some racing. That's been our experience before. When you get here at 5 o'clock, they run hard till about 7:30, as they did tonight. And then they will back it off and either have an event like this, or they will simply go and reshuffle the deck and start getting out all 6 classes worth of random draws as they go. So again, we're on a little break here, and we're going to send it back to Joshua. We're going to get some more outstanding advertising in here along the way, and we'll be back when that reel of advertising is ready to roll. And we, of course, are at Bear Mountain Speedway. I'm Ken Wells. Glad to see you tonight. And we will send it back to Joshua Smith at headquarters.
Ready to upgrade your living situation? At Fecteau Homes, your existing single or double wide may be worth top dollar for trade-in value. If you've been considering upgrading your existing mobile home to a new single wide, double wide, or modular home, now's the time. And you may be able to use the equity in your current home to make your dream upgrade a reality. Visit FecteauHomes.com or stop by their display lot in Montpelier, Vermont today. Fecteau Homes, where your next chapter begins.
Hi, this is Steve from Batchelder Carpentry. We're at VTCarpenter.com. Dreaming of a new look for your home, like beautiful whitewash shiplap walls, Unsure about managing the time or having the right tools? No need to worry. Batchelder Carpentry is here to turn your Pinterest dreams into reality. Check us out at vtcarpenter.com and let us transform your space with ease. Your dream home is just a consultation away. We're at vtcarpenter.com.
So back here now, the cars have starting to rumble around slowly around the track. There's 64 cars out there, and they're going about 2 miles an hour. You probably heard the mud on the tires. That was a weekend road trips and fun by Brad Paisley. Why does it work? With a title like that, it's almost made for dirt track nights. Great for talking about the fans rolling in from all over Vermont, New Hampshire. For a track night, there's a track theme too, and Brad Paisley's got your back with mud on the tires. That's Brad Paisley, bringing the dirt road vibe direct to the track. The title track from Paisley's 2004 #1 country album, and that was a big, big hit for him some 21 years ago. Chevy backed the song's product placement. Truck on the album cover is a 2003 Silverado. The song celebrates countryside leisure and burning mud tires with your sweetheart. The album marked Paisley's first #1 hit single and album, and lead listeners to the nickname Paisley New Traditionalist Country's Great Hope. And that led those listeners to dub him with that phrase, and he has certainly lived up to that at this point. We talked about the fact that this was Kids Night here at the track. That's what's going on right now. It's a slow move around the track. They've been putting this together for the last half an hour, and now they are moving around it very slowly, and there's a lot of happy kids out there enjoying this very much as they go around. This is the mid-season tradition here, and a lot of the other parents and stuff are on the inside of the track, and they're doing a great job there. And when they get through this in another 10 or 15 minutes, they will come in and they will make the random draw on their standings in the way they're going to get into the main racing here. The feature events will start. After that, we expect to be going probably by 8:15 or something like that. That's our hope at this point. Right now, we're in a little bit of a lull at this part of the evening, and so we're going to throw it back for some advertising here. We're doing a good job getting through that block of ads. It's a good time to do it. So we'll be back after this block of ads comes up. We are at the Bear Ridge Speedway. I'm Ken Wells. Chris Smith is at my side here, and it's now just a parade of kids riding on models from all cars here. They've been setting this up for about a half an hour. They got a ways more to go, and we'll be back at Bear Ridge very soon.
Chris Smith back here at Bear Ridge with Ken Wells by my side. We are still looking at the Kids Night Cars Go Around, as it is a great program they run here. They have, if you're just joining us, they have all the cars through many different divisions out on the track, and they have young future racers and kids of all ages on the backs and fronts of these cars, going around, taking a few laps, and getting used to Bear Ridge from a different point of view. As they come around here, we still are waiting to start racing here. We hope to get racing going within the next half hour here. But right now, it's just a great family event for all the kids to basically work as a farm system for future racers, which you got to love, Ken.
Our farm system, I can see that, Chris. That's a good job tying that all together. Now, we're saying, wow, they're 45 minutes into it, and they still got to have the random draw. But you know what? Got a lot of smiling faces down there on the track, do we not?
We do, and I think this is really what it's all about. I'm going to sound like a broken record when I keep repeating it's about family, as I think they're starting to shut this down now. The cars are slowing down, but families come out here for a night of entertainment, and sometimes that includes getting a ride around with your favorite driver.
Yeah, it doesn't, not very often, but tonight is the night. They all know that. And now they're slowing to a stop over here, and they're starting to disembark. Sounds like I'm on a cruise ship, Chris.
Oh, yeah. Get on the tender and get off the track as they're getting rolling here. So after this, we will have, as Ken said, the drawing, which will decide placements for each race in the division, which will be very exciting tonight, as it is double points tonight. So it could make or break your season, as we are at the halfway point tonight.
And everybody here is hoping it's going to make it as far as that goes. That's for sure.
That is for sure. And tonight we have a lot going on, but don't forget, it's not just tonight that we have races, as next week is July 19th. On Saturday, it is the Jim Fields number 46 Memorial and Sprint Cars of New England night, which is a full card including Scone Sprint cars, dirt car sportsman mods, dirt stocks, late models, modified limiteds, sportsman coupes, and of course my favorite, the Ridge Runners. We're also going to see the Extreme Outlaw Series. Plus,
they don't come in very often.
They do not.
So that's next week here.
There is a big ticket next week, and I'll tell you what, admission price never changes. So you got no reason not to go see these series.
You're darn right. And that's a great lineup there, only primarily because they don't come in hardly ever.
No, I've never seen that here, but that'll be exciting. Another thing to keep into account as we're at this, I was going to say standstill, but they're moving now, getting everyone off the track after that great event.
They got a third of them or half of them off down there. They're going to move the other half in too, and we figured that they would take about an hour for this little time for the kids to ride around the track here, and it's about 8 o'clock hour. We're zipping in onto that too. We've been here for a little over an hour and a half there, looking to go to 10 o'clock tonight and give you the full scope of racing here over the course of the night. But this is one of those nights where we have another, it's not an admission. It is, but it isn't. But it's really a joyful time for the kids.
Well, it's sort of like an early seventh inning stretch as you get everyone get up and moving because, I don't want to say it's a full crowd, but there's definitely room to come if you want.
No, on the 08, we got a redheaded lady on top of it, and she's basically riding on the roof. How about that, Chris?
Well, it doesn't look like the most
Is there any danger factor there? What do you think?
I mean, there's always a danger factor. No helmet, no seatbelt. But,
other than that, it's perfectly safe.
Other than that, he's going 10 miles an hour. That's the worst that happens.
That is true. We got to remember that. They're not racing around 70 miles an hour on the track here or there. That's Talladega from Erik Church. You just heard it. The song's an outstanding performance by him. Erik Church, I've met him a couple times, one time in Portland, Maine. My daughter Paige was a huge fan. I said, well, I'm a CMA member. I can get us press clearance. We drove down there on March 1st. I forget the year. And they got 21 inches of snow. It was the most snow that Portland got on March 1st. Not the most snow they ever got, but the most they ever got on March 1st. And she talked to Big Game, and, I'm going to give him a big hug and all this. She got about from me to you, Chris. She froze.
Well,
couldn't say a word.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Ken. For as humble as you are, you've met quite a few stars back in the day, especially for country music on the station we're at, which is WYKR Country. You probably could do your own little segment about all the country stars you've influenced.
Well, I was just talking to this young lady who lives in North Haverhill that they used to have a tremendous amount of artists over there, and that came in, and Blake Shelton was one of them. As I try to dig through all my old photos here, and certainly he was great. He had long hair then, as far as that go in those days, before he went to the Cult Now, and he had 2 hits at that time. One was it was the song Austin. That was his first hit. And then they had the song about the dog, Old Red, which he named his bar after down in Nashville. And that was the one about the guy breaking out of prison and getting Old Red to not go towards, chasing him as he broke out of prison, but staying there with a blue tip, a beautiful dog.
Yeah.
And that was a funny line there all the way around for them. And certainly something that we got a real kick out of. And he had those 2 hits. I didn't know he was going to rack up another 20 or 30 hits by the time he was done, for Pete's sake. And, of course, he's put together a big career. And actually, I found him so I can show my girl here behind me, Toby Keith, right there. And that's a few years ago. Emerson Drive down below it. And here's Blake Shelton with the long hair in Haverhill about 16 years ago, right before he cut his hair. I did an interview with him, and I got my I know nobody can see this on the radio, but just want to show some country shots here. And this is a side one. This is Martin St. Louis. He's actually the current coach of the Canadians. I know that doesn't mean anything to you. But anyway, I finally found it. I'm not real good like Chris Smith, who can just whip through the file here and in 2 seconds gets it. It took me all of 2 minutes there to try and find out who he was. But, yeah, we had some great trips down to Nashville. And, my wife was a big fan of Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yep.
So she goes into a line. We're in Nashville, and I have press clearance because I'm a CMA member. And she waits in line 3 hours to get a ticket, to wait in another line for 2 hours, and finally get a chance to meet Billy Ray Cyrus. I know he's not the biggest name out there, but he had a couple of hits along the way. And so I came up late, and I got in the photo booth there, and we were jostling for positions there. And Billy goes like, hey, what's the problem down there? I said, you talking to me? my wife is a big fan of yours. I'm just trying to get a good picture of you and my wife, Mr. Cyrus, if you don't mind, sir. And we went there, and instead of being a jerk to me and tell him, bug off there, whoever you are. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from northern Vermont. Instead of saying, hey, you dumb hick, where are you from? Instead, he was a gentleman. He says, all right, where's your wife? And by then, my wife is like 3 sheets of red. Like, I don't even know this person. And he got over to her, and he sat on her lap, took a picture, and then he says, I'll take your camera. My wife's over there, and he took a picture of me and his wife. Really very funny. But certainly one of the tales of Nashville when we were down there. And I know Billy Ray's not the biggest star out there. Blake Shelton's certainly a lot bigger. But to my wife, Lori, he was a big star. So that's who she wanted to be. So sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Hey, you know what? You're going to be shocked here, Chris. But breaking news, we're going to start racing here.
Oh, my.
Apparently, we're going to get these winged wonders out on the track. And so I overstepped my bounds as usual. I've been wrong with everything I said tonight. I've misidentified 3 songs, and I've got the wrong class out here now. It took me 10 minutes to find a picture that would have taken Chris Smith 2 seconds to find. Other than that, I'm having a good evening here. How you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing all right. A little toasty. On this hot July night. But other than that, we can blame our mistakes on the weather.
Yeah,
we've only been able to get 2 races in.
Because we're usually flawless. We don't make mistakes, do we?
This is, I think never.
I think it's the first mistake we've ever made.
You know, if we do, we're really good at covering it up.
Well, we'll just fib about it and say, no, we're there. Now, we talked about speed on the track. And you know what? These little rigs here are quick. And this is the DMA midgets, right? The extreme dirt cars?
I believe so. I can't imagine there's another car that looks quite like it.
And there's 3, there's 6, there's 9, there's 12 of them, and there's number 13, the 09, making his way around the track along the way, too. And he's coming up in the rear here. But that is a neat little rig all the way around here and fun to watch. And the wing on the top basically keeps them stable. That's the whole factor here. Now, we've already got a green flag, a yellow flag caution.
The 09 shutting down there.
The 09 didn't have enough puff to get around that last corner over there. So she's buckled.
Well,
and she looks pretty, but she's buckled over there.
I'll tell you what, she's not even on our point standings list that we have in front of us. So we couldn't even identify. So
okay.
Not too embarrassing for him.
We got Chris Murray up front of that division. He's got he's in first right now as far as that goes, 348 points. Will Hull's behind him. So that's the 76 getting rolling there. And the light's starting to come on at the track here. And, you know, I hate to say it, but last night I noticed that about 8:45, it was dark. It wasn't that long ago. We were going to about 9:05. What happened, Chris? Don't tell me we're on the downside here. Come on now.
It seems like fall might be coming a little early. But
I was afraid you were going to say
the upside of that is we got some football season coming up.
Oh, we do. And we touched on it earlier. And football this year is going to start about August 29th. And as one of my other, as you know, I got 4 jobs. And one of them is certainly enjoying spending time with you, my friend. And down here, but I call a lot of football, high school and college, and we have a massive schedule this year. And the goal of the owner is to, by next year, to do every single football game in Vermont. I can't imagine that we can do that, but I was told today that we're putting the APB out. We're looking for producers. They're just as valuable as play-by-play guys, because if you don't have somebody to come up here and put equipment together, kind of like you did tonight, Chris, as I just watched, and hopefully Joshua is going to back me up when you have to go to college into bigger and better things. And we're down here and have everything set up, so I only have to press a button. If that's what it comes down to, we're gonna work just fine as far as that goes. I always tell the guys there with the NSN and the other company that you better make sure somebody comes down and puts this equipment in, because I did it for years for WYKR radio, but all I had to do was plug into a phone jack. I could do that. Now you got to have modulation. You got to have your antenna set up. And this, of course, I'm talking about video streaming. There's a lot to it. Tonight, not too bad with the computer here and then the master switch, etc. As long as you got a headquarters contact, you have that, you're all set. But it's not getting easier, or at least not for me, as far as that goes.
Well, I'll tell you what, getting in here and setting up for the both of us has just made me gain a lot more respect for the behind-the-scenes guys that you don't hear
for
about.
Joshua, and who's his assistant up there who's not on tonight on the board? Logan. I mean, those guys are doing a real job. You can't get on without these producers and technicians. And you know, ESPN and the big boys in sports, That's what they're hiring. These talking heads, like Chris and I are tonight, they're not in demand. That's the easy part, getting out and talking. The hard part is setting the equipment up and stuff like that. And without them, nobody's getting on.
No, I mean, anyone can sit and pretend to know what they're talking about for 4 hours. We do it
all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's a lot more research too. You got to know the equipment. There's a lot of work behind it, but there's a lot of money in it too.
Yes, no doubt. And that is the part of the industry, like ESPN, I keep referring to them because they're big. That is who they're hiring. Technicians and guys behind the camera. Those are the guys that are getting the bucks these days, not the talking heads.
Oh, it takes a lot more skill.
Yeah.
You know, anyone can watch a Red Sox game and pretend to know exactly how the season's going.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The cameras are ever changing.
And Chris has been popping out a lot of columns on the Red Sox lately, and you've got some good stuff. I looked at a few notes here tonight, and you got a big one coming up, and you're talking about a former Yankee that I used to despise because I just don't like the Yankees, and now he's the closer for the Red Sox, so you know what? I've decided to like him.
That is Aroldis Chapman. That'll be out, I want to say, next Thursday on the Bridge Weekly Showcase, which is a free newspaper with there's a lot of good columnists in there. So good advertising opportunities, too, for local businesses.
Good experience for yourself, too.
It is. I love it. I really do. You can write about what you like. But Aroldis Chapman this year, he's in his, a second prime, as you call it. And he's 37, and he's pushing 105 on any given night. It's crazy.
Athletes are lasting longer, aren't they? I mean, nobody lasts like Tom Brady. That was crazy, 45. But a lot of athletes are 40, still hanging in there. Better nutrition, I think, and more conditioning, and they're lasting longer in their careers. And I hope that Chapman keeps going. You know, he's been in the majors 15 years. You would have thought he'd learned to speak English by now.
Well, he said you would think
he's Cuban, right?
He is. Have you ever seen his car? You know anything about Chapman's car?
No.
I was down at Fenway the other day, saw Chapman leave the stadium, get in his car. If you're at home and you have access to a computer, search up Aroldis Chapman car. We can get it up here. He is in basically an armored tank. I don't know who his enemies are. I don't know who he's offended, but he's got bulletproof glass. It's straight out of
maybe Fidel Castro's brothers after him.
It must be something. I mean, he's a Cuban defect. I mean, he might have not made some friends on his way, but no, he joined the Reds in 2010. And he's been pushing ever since.
He's been throwing bolts of lightning for about 15 years now.
Well,
for Pete's sake.
His best season was in 2014. Since then, he's had injuries and
he has
all this and that. So everyone kind of thought he was washed up.
And the Red Sox seem to find a way to get to him. I remember Devers. Devers got after him. Now we got the ATV coming out to clear the car off the track. Well, he kind of got a little out of control here and went over the wheel of the car. And now I believe he is pinned, and now a little ATV is coming out to jostle both of them.
Well, I got to tell you,
if he gets stuck, now we got a real story here.
It looks like it. He's jumping out pretty quick. I've never seen anything like that. You expect
they lift it. Of course, they could lift the rig right out.
He may have a bit of damage.
Those aren't that heavy, and so they just lifted it off the guy's tire. And to give you an idea of what you got for chassis here, you got the big tires on the back, and the little tires, they're on the front.
I'll tell you what. I'll bet you that's the last person he expected to dump him tonight.
And I think that's going to be okay. Those ATVs will take quite a bump. But let's figure out, what are they designed for? They're designed to go over jumps and through mud and up the side of trees.
It's an all-terrain.
So look at, he's all set. He's rolling on the track like this didn't bother me a bit.
Let's hope.
And he's out of here.
But dang, that was definitely a
He's actually fast
thing.
too.
He's rolling. He might be quicker than the car he ran over.
I like these little ATVs, though. They'll come up and they'll just give you a jump start and get you back into the fray as far as that goes. And certainly that's exactly what they're doing right now to try and get them going. We're still in the preliminary runs here, getting these vehicles loosened up. And we have not gone to the section where we're going to pick out the draw for how far they're going to be set into their race. And so we got a ways to go, ladies and gentlemen, as far as that goes. And we're delighted to be here at the track, and now they'll be cleared off, or at least the two vehicles that were having trouble keeping rolling here are now off the track, and they'll line them up again. They got a few more laps to go. They only got 4 in here as far as that goes. And certainly we'll have to catch up on where they're coming from.
I will say this about it being so early is that even though it's around 8:15, I'd say 8:13, there's still plenty of time to make it out to the track and catch the the heavy end of these races.
And just because it was raining in your neighborhood, I was over to Farmway. Got a nice shirt over there. They got some great stuff. And it was pouring. Nobody was even going outside. I'm like, oh, boy. And I sent a message to Joshua, Chris. I said, it's pouring buckets here. And Chris says, not raining here at all. And then it stopped. Just like they turned the faucet off, I got up to the track here. They barely got a drop up here. And so don't think because it's raining on your dooryard that there's nothing going on, because all the main features are ahead of us here tonight. You still got time to pop over here to the track and enjoy a couple more hours of racing here, if not more, over the course of the evening.
I would agree with that. And I mean, we were talking to one of the owners who was worried people might not come because of the rain, but it stayed dry here so much, in fact, that Ken mentioned earlier, they were spraying the track with water.
Yeah. So absolutely, because they want to have moisture and not grit around those openings. And so they were out there in a big way trying to get things rolling along the way.
It is not the end of the world, folks. You can still come to the Ridge. Good food, good entertainment.
Great food.
Great food.
We know because we just sampled the Poutine. Oh, that's a winner. And the chicken fingers, delicious with barbecue sauce. And that was, we did that. Well, we had a little lull in the action here. Now we figured that, Chris, this might be the time to grab a snack because we're getting down here now. They're halfway through this run here. So they jumped the gun on us a little bit. This will be one of the features right here, right in front of us, Chris. Would you agree with that?
I would sure hope so.
Because they're running it like that.
They've been running long enough. They got all.
Because if they don't, they're going to be here till midnight.
Oh, my goodness.
And maybe, just maybe, I'll have to ask the boys next door. Maybe they're going to forego that random pick and just get right back into the feature thing. We'll know immediately because when the next group comes out, that'll decide it right there.
Well, that is the perk of a track like this. Is you come into turn 3, that's the exit into pit lane, and then right around turn 4, you can just start another race immediately
and get them rolling and keep that pace up over the whole time. And that is really a big key for them. So for the first time tonight, let's check on our boys, our buddies, Norm Rue and John Sleeper, and see what those boys have to say.
Here now, that Addison Davis in front, they had to go full throttle to hang on to a good finish here. Ed Vickery is your leader. Davis getting into lap traffic as she will have to deal with Jamie Como in the L3. Como is a good little chauffeur, and he is going to give the leader the inside lane. 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go for the Grand Estate Mini Smith 5 and 400cc class, now known as the Grand Estate Micro Minis. And the awful night is for Bentley Robinson at number 4R. He is usually in the hunt at this time in the race, and just right now making his move from the back of the field. Ed Victory getting by Jamie Como. Here comes Josh Boxino in the number 2. And we have 2 to go for the number 38 coming by. And that is Addison Davis. 2 laps to go for the Grand Estate Micro Minis as they charge by us here. White flag. Addison Davis. Final lap. She's tied up in lap traffic. She's going to have to tiptoe through traffic here to get to that checkered flag. Addison Davis gets another win in 2025.
So Addison Davis comes out of these micro winnies right there. And that was a good job for them. And that'll wrap up this round here. And you know what? We're going to be able to have a chance. We've got so much good music stacked up here over the course of the evening that we're going to bring another one out here that is tied to racing. And that's what we try to go with right here. And Fast Nights and Wild Rides, perfect for the Enduro break banter, the wild, chaotic, and unpredictable, just like the race. And that is time for a little lighthearted fun. Grab your cold one because here's Tracy Bird with 10 rounds with Jose Curvo coming up next.
From the Fairbanks Museum, the forecast for tonight: any lingering showers or storms diminishing with a chance of valley fog. Mild and muggy weather with lows in the 60s. Then on Sunday, sunshine with mixed clouds, chance of afternoon showers or thunderstorm with highs from the mid to upper 80s. Then for Sunday night, mostly cloudy skies, scattered showers and thunderstorms continuing with increased chances after midnight. Lows will be in the mid to upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Megan Duncan for WYKR.
Okay, we're back here, and we got the micro minis. They are up in the podium here, and we have a couple of the racers going to come out here. They will not have a random draw. It's a double point situation, and again, the warm-ups before, that's all they were. They did not determine positioning. I just asked the experts, and if you can't get the right answer from two guys that have been here for 30 years, we're in trouble, Chris. That's Norm Rue and John Sleeper. And he said that they are going to go to a couple more features in a row. So we got one down. We got 5 features to go here this evening. And apparently we're off to the races for real now.
This is a Forrest Gump style track. Racing at Bay Ridge is like a box of chocolates. You never know which one you're going to get.
Yeah, and when the veterans can't tell me what's going on, I'm going to start getting worried.
I'll tell you what. It's
well, maybe I should feel good about it. Since we're dealing with a certain amount of confusion here. And you know what threw us off? 50 minutes of little kids riding around the track.
It definitely makes things more interesting.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, we had a surprise micro, but that was not the DMA midgets that we saw earlier. We were wondering because
these were the micro midgets.
It was the micro midgets. We were wondering because our scorecards didn't line up with our lineups.
No.
For the numbers that
there
were
was two 38s there, and they weren't either one.
Yeah.
Was a 38 winner here.
So there's actually, we learned, unless it was not given to us, there was no lineup card for the drivers we just saw. So the 38 won. I have no idea who that is. But
and so we're going to buzz, and we're also going to use our man on the truck there before we're done this evening. He's not down there right now. They're getting separate pictures of him there, and they're grabbing a bunch of trophies too. The trophies have been left here, right in the corner, and then they'll get the next group out here. They are primed up. They're going to be coming out of the pits very soon here, as we're getting a little bit darker. The lights are on already. We're falling almost to the 8:30 hour here. And certainly they're moving along once they get rolling. And, they probably took advantage of the fact that, you took almost an hour to give the kids ride, which is a wonderful thing. That really cheered everybody up. But gosh darn it, you got to make up that time somewhere, Chris, don't you?
You really do. But I would say that would be for the best, that they just get the features rolling, get everyone. I mean, people are here.
Yes.
For racing. That's why they came out. And,
they've got 1,000 people here, and they've got to be entertained, and you don't need big breaks here. And speaking of big breaks, or a little one in this case, we got some other great advertising coming your way, so we're going to send it back to Joshua Smith. He is our quarterback, and he's going to give you another block of outstanding ads coming up here during the break, and that's going to start, folks, right about now.
Your backyard isn't broken. It's just boring. And that office entrance, yeah, that could use some love too. Murray's Market in Bradford will add the beds, borders, and bushes that bring life to your yard and make your business look like it means business. Whether you're a cafe, clinic, or just finally getting around to adding that walkway out front, Murray's Market in Bradford will help you grow places. Murray's Market. We dig what we do. You will too. Open daily, 8 to 5.
Has your car driven over too many frost heaves, potholes, or muddy ruts? Does it handle poorly or veers towards the side? A state-of-the-art four-wheel alignment from Moonlight Auto often results in a smoother ride, reduced tire wear, and better gas mileage. Like Moonlight Auto Repair on Facebook, Moonlight Auto Repair in Fairley, 51 Lake Morey Road at the junction of Route 5 and the Lake Morey Road. Call 802-333-4300.
The best things in life get passed down. A good fishing spot, Grandpa's stories, or Dad's truck that still runs like new. At North Country Ford in Lancaster, they believe a great vehicle should stick around long enough to become part of the family. That's why their trucks and SUVs are built to last, and why they treat customers like neighbors, not numbers. North Country Ford wants to give you something dependable for your next chapter. Visit their friendly sales team at 29 Middle Street in Lancaster. North Country Ford, built for living, not just driving.
Here are some examples of why you should consider doing business locally at PTO's Auto Repair in Bradford. In addition to automotive repair, they source tires from multiple tire vendors to get the best price. Custom exhaust work is one of their specialties. They are a WeatherTech floor liner dealer as well as Extang Trifold and Tuxedo tonneau cover dealer. Chris, Terry, and Wyatt will provide you with the latest tips, tricks, and advice to help keep your vehicle running smoothly all year round at PTO's Auto Repair, Bradford.
At Lady Shay's, comfort food comes handmade and home style. The chicken is as tender as Shay's heart and as crispy as her humor. You'll definitely need to find more words for delicious after trying the mac and cheese. So, whether you're swinging by for lunch or looking for catering that'll make your guests smile, we promise food that's hot, fresh, and full of Southern-style goodness. Follow us on Facebook for truck locations and catering details. Then, come get yourself a taste of home. Lady Shay's. Look for the white truck.
This summer, protect your home or business from pests with True Pest and Rodent Solutions. Conveniently located in South Reigate Village, they provide expert pest management to keep rodents, wasps, wildlife, and insects out of your space. True Pest and Rodent Solutions serves Vermont's Upper Connecticut River Valley, Northeast Kingdom, and Northwestern New Hampshire. They deliver more than just services, they deliver solutions. Visit True Pest and Rodent Solutions, LLC.com today. True Pest and Rodent Solutions, not just services, solutions.
Okay, our second feature is revving up now here. This is one of the classic modes here. That's a Wells River Chevrolet Dirt Car Sportsman Coupes. And this is one of the glamour events at the track here. Revving up and getting ready to rumble here on the track. And there's a big crowd here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 cars. And they're ready to rumble.
It is the home of the coupe, and we are watching the Sportsman Coupes. This is the feature of the night. It's what the fans came to see other than kids ride around night. So the Sportsman Coupes are why we're here, and you can hear them for miles. The rumble through the forest.
Bob Shepard's up there in the one grouping there, along with Alexander Pushy. They have the top two positions in this class. Let's take a look at the standings, Chris. How did the top 10 look in this race?
Well, first in your standings is going to be the 17 car. That is Cooper Hodge. And in second, the 12 of Cody Gregoropoulos. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he was our Sportsman Coupe Championship last year. If I'm wrong, he was second. But he is definitely known to run up front. We heard his name a lot last year. In third, the 16 of Terry Williams. A couple Terry Williams T-shirts out there, so he's certainly got his fan base running it tonight. In fourth, the 93 of Ricky Sandville. In fifth, the 89 of Lucas Wheeler. In sixth, the 44 of Michael Danforth Jr. In seventh, the 66 of Alexander Bushy. In eighth, the 3 of Jason Horniak. In ninth, the 21E of Earl Maxim. And in 10th, the 96 of Rob Williams. Now, there is a 14-point difference between the leader, Cooper Hodge, and our second-place contender, Cody Gregoropoulos. So with it being double points night, there is a lot on the line for these leaders to maintain their position in the standings as we go green here.
And so they come around the corner, and they're ready to rumble. And they are going green here now. We're anticipating 20 laps here. Let's throw it over to our partners, John Rue and Mr. Sleeper.
Sliding out of 3 and 4. Give the edge to Bushy at the strike. Bobby Shepard now has the advantage on the inside. Michael Danforth Jr. coming up to challenge as well. Bobby Shepard takes the lead, the veteran, in the 28 car. Danforth down to second, Bushy up to the outside. Broad sliding in the corners. Danforth gets underneath him. Oh, they touch out there, slide, but gathering back up. Bobby Shepard, your leader. Michael Danforth Jr. in second. Ali Bushy. Then it's Rob Williams in the 96. The 16 car coming up on the outside. That's Terry Williams. It's Terry Williams. Yeah, he's doing a great job up on the outside, getting around Lucas Wheeler. Finding some bite up on that outside, but Wheeler's found something down on the inside as they come down into 3 and 4. Bobby Shepard still holds the lead with 5 laps in the books. Michael Danforth right on his rear bumper as Ali Bushy holds on to third. Battling back in 4th, 5th, and 6th is
The 96 of Rob Williams, the 89 of Lucas Wheeler, and the 16 of Terry Williams. Oh, look at this. Well, the Rocket Ricky Sandville got out into a kerfuffle and gathered it back up. That shows the caliber of driving in this division here. Some of the big guns still tied up out back. Jason Gray still up out back, as is Cody Gregolopoulos. Come on down, calm down. Bobby Shepard. Boy, has he got a rear bumper full of Michael Danforth Jr. and Ali Bushy in the third place. There's a few cars trying the outside. Jason Orniak trying to get around the 111 of Jason Gray. 10 laps completed when they go by the strike this time with 20 laps remaining. The Wells River Chevrolet Sportsman Coupe, Michael Danforth. Oh, he's looking on the outside of Bobby Shepard.
And, you know, Chris, we got some of the best drivers in this now. As you can see, these guys holding the track. They're a third of the way through this race here now. Highly competitive as they come around too wide on turn number 4 and then straighten them out. And we had a couple near misses where we had collisions touching each other. But, man, they're steady drivers. And they held their position and held their lane, and we're racing on.
Well, I'm noticing I'm going to call an upset in the standings tonight because, once again, it is double points night. And right now, our leader is Bob Shepard. That's the 28. He is in 11th in the standings. So if he can pull over the win tonight, it would be incredible for the rest of his season. And the 44, that's Michael Danforth Jr., who's in 6th, is tailing him in 2nd. So, you know, the bottom of these standings are really dominating this race. And you hate to see that when you're a leader and you have the opportunity to solidify your lead and you're just not performing how you want to.
Well, when you have rainouts early in the year, this is the best way to get everybody back on the same page. And if you're down, but you know what? It's equal for everybody. If you're up, this can help you compile your lead too. We're halfway through this run. They're going 30 laps here. This is our second feature out of the 6 here tonight. So come on down to the track. You still got 4 more features left, folks, if you want to check that out. And certainly a lot of action still to go here at the track at the midway point, where we're doubling up the points all the way around.
Well, this is the mid-season championship, so you have even more reason to show up. The stakes are high with double points, mid-season championship, and the underdogs are dominating the coupes. As there's a big wreck, 4 cars involved, 2 will drive away, 2 are mobilized, and right in front of us coming into the start-finish line. That is the 69 is the one I see involved. That's the 69X of A.J. Pushy is one of the victims.
And he was running good early up front, and now they separate. They're going to be okay, but the yellow flag is still out. And unlike NASCAR, for you NASCAR folks out there, will freeze the laps at that point. It isn't like you can come out of that and keep cruising around the track and knocking off laps. That's not the way they play here. It's a 30-lap race, and so they have straightened up both those cars under their own power, but they will have to navigate and get through and get relined up again, and then they will be back to action. They've got 15 laps in. They got 15 to go in this Sportsman Coupes division. It's an exciting one. And the fans, they've been on the edge of their seats for the big go from the start.
Well, I would say keep an eye on that 2 car. That's the 2 of A.J. Alsop. He's 16 in the standings, not because of he's moving. He's doing all right now. But coming around turn 4, after that little altercation, there was a few pieces of debris sitting in the middle of the track, I believe some metal. They've now been cleaned up, but that 2, AJ, drove over a couple pieces, and when he came out, there was some missing from the other side of that end. So I'd keep an eye on that car, see if that affects him at all.
Yeah, because tires, they can go, they can blow.
Exactly. They are not bulletproof here at Bear Ridge.
As we said, a steady stream of events here, still 12 more on the season, and they've lost a couple to rain, but after tonight, the second time they've raced double points, I believe they're back on schedule as far as the points range. I mean, you can't, if you have a race every week, unless you go 2 days, you can't make up those dates.
Well, and that is a big problem. One thing that you could end up doing that some tracks do is you'll do a Friday night and a Saturday night.
True.
Or you do a Saturday midday and then
Sunday, maybe?
You could do a Sunday, but the problem is it ends up being a lot for the drivers, too. You got to drag out your car.
Yeah, and it beats the tire out of your vehicle. It's one thing. It's almost like the NFL.
Yeah,
you play once a week, you can take it and you can repair yourself for 6 days. But, man, if you got to go a couple days, you're beat up.
Yeah, I mean, you have these double points nights. If you have 2 nights in a row, right, you're a top 10 guy. You need to get to work. And then Friday night, you have to sit and repair your vehicle. You're up till 4 a.m. because it requires a bit of time. In the NFL, it'd be rest, but in this, it's working on your vehicle, but also rest. Drivers are athletes too, and it takes a lot to get bumped around for, even just 30 laps here at Bear Ridge.
Yeah, those back-to-back days are son of a gun. I mean, I did a terrible job of scheduling. I'm going to get up tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock and go up to Ryder Hill and call motorcycle races for 8 hours in 90-degree heat. Now, I don't know who made that schedule. Unfortunately, I do. I made it. That was not a very wise decision. I should have stuck to one race per weekend.
You're going to have to grab some sunscreen.
Yeah, no. Well, I'll be in partially on the building for half a day, and then it's the afternoon when you're worn out. Well, that's when the sun really kills you. Looking forward to it.
Well, pack your water bottle.
I should get a tan. Anyway.
Yeah, that's where I will not tan. Luckily,
you refuse.
I refuse to tan. My my red hair does most of that for me. It plays the first line of defense against the tan.
Yeah, my daughter is a redhead. She knows the way that works. No doubt about it.
SPF 100 is my best friend.
100. Wow.
As we're back to racing, as they cleared off the debris, and that 28 car, that's the 28 of Bob Shepard. He's sitting 11th in the standings. He's still leading, but the 44 of Michael Danforth Jr. is giving him a run for his money as they come around turn 1, and it is tight as they're rolling. That 66 is in 3rd place. That's Alexander Pushy. He's 7th in the standings. So really a good night at any of these guys is going to shuffle up the pack for the rest of the season.
That's exciting, but like we said, everybody's got the same shot. So get out there and crank them. They're all trying to. It's very competitive, and that's why this is one of the premier events here. This is one of the premier classes that goes on here at Bear Ridge.
I would say this is the main event tonight. It really draws a crowd. When you have the home of the Coupe and you're the only dirt track left in Vermont,
and it's the only Coupe division.
The only Coupe division really all around the area. I don't think they run the Coupes at White Mountain. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe that is correct. This is a unique 1940s style vehicles, and those old cars are sexy.
They are, and it was funny. I don't remember who it was. We're talking to Butch, one of the heads of the track here.
Yes.
Really gets the job done. He was saying, I think it was on the Friday morning show on WYKR, because they do have a segment. He was saying that they'll do anything to find these bodies for these cars. They go at yard sales. They find them in barns.
You can't find them.
You cannot.
They're
find
80
them.
years old.
It's and it's sad, but you come to Bear Ridge, it doesn't look like the Coupe's dying at all.
No, they're
new.
healthy and they're alive, aren't they? We have 18 of them on the field right now,
and they are gorgeous. As I was talking about that 2 car having some trouble, but he's gone up about 5 spaces since I called it. So
trouble averted at this point with 22 laps in, 8 to go, folks.
It would seem like it is a night for underdogs, if I had to say so. Jason Gray, who is a regular in the Dirt Car Sportsman Mods, he's actually the leader of the Sportsman Mods division. He's running. He's not in the standings. He's not eligible for championship points. He's in the 111. Yeah. He's in 3rd place right now. So I'm interested to see how that shakes up the points. I think if you're in 4th, you get the 3rd place points because Jason Gray is not eligible.
Okay, that's the way that works. He's listed at the bottom of the bracket, but this one he just does for fun because his main division there, he dominates.
Well, this is a guy I don't think he'd mind back-to-back races. I think he's
only 33 years old. He can take it.
Yeah, and doesn't he have a couple basketball championships or something?
Back, I believe. And Thetford won the baseball, too, since I've been down here last time. I had the pleasure of doing that on the NFHS network. I did all the championships at Centennial Field. They were good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What
good bunch of athletes.
What
division 3.
All right.
But Thetford.
Yeah. Where do they have that championship?
Centennial Field.
Oh, you did say that. Where is that?
In Burlington.
Oh, nice
on
place,
the University of Vermont area. Yep, very nice stadium there where the Lake Monsters play.
Oh, yeah.
St. Johnsbury Academy right up the road. They won the Division 1. And then you had Thetford winning the 3. You had Blue Mountain right up the road winning the Division 4 this year. Scott Blood getting another title, his 3rd in a row. And then Missisquoi, undefeated. They win Division 2. That was a lot of fun.
Well, looks good on a banner.
2 more laps to go as they come around the end here. And now here's Gray trying to make a hard run at the leader with 1 lap to go.
This is just insane. And there is more racing to go, folks. The main event, I would say, is right now, but it doesn't mean the action gets any less intense.
See what the boys say next door as we come down the stretch.
Bobby Shepard, Jason Gray, Allie Bushy, Terry Williams, Cody Grecolopoulos, and the rest of the field. Oh, I've got to sit down and take some medication. Ladies and gentlemen, is as good as it gets here at Bear Ridge Speedway. What racing by Michael Danforth, Bobby Shepard, Jason Gray, Allie Bushy, Terry Williams. What a show these guys put on tonight. Unbelievable. Wow.
And they will move into the winner's circle here.
I got to go take my medication.
Just Danforth, and he pulled away. He had a rocket ship toward the last 10 laps, didn't he?
There was no shot at catching him. Once he saw the open field in front of him, he cut loose. This is going to do wonders for the standings. I'm not sure exactly how the points will add up, but he is going to shoot to the top.
He was in sixth, and man, that is going to move him probably up to third, at least, right?
At least with double points tonight, and how low the leaders, the 17 of Cooper Hodge was, I think, probably, I want to say about 6th or 7th.
Yeah, he's going to go up to at least third because the number 12 car, Cody Grecolopoulos, he finished fine too. I think he was 4th in this race, so a great job right there. And this time we're going to throw it down to the track and get our man down there on the track to give us some on-track interviews. We appreciate his efforts very much. And that's Justin Valero, and he's coming up now.
Now on the word for your second place finisher, Bob Shepard. Okay. Veteran in this division. Great run for you. It looked like you great race for you. Class. Looked like you're almost going to hold him off, and he was able to stick by him. I think it was 2 years ago when Mikey first started racing hoops. I chased him for probably 20 laps. He couldn't get him. And I was happy to finish second to him that night once he get his first win. And I'm happy to finish second to him again tonight. Great run. I'm sure this is sponsors you want to thank. Pretty much. I don't see the that much up on they own the car. My son, he's helping me. Also helps me a lot. A couple of old timers and one guy behind and have a good time. We love having you here. Great to see you here next week. Third last week, second this week. Now we're going to have a word with your Sportsman Coupe mid-season track champion. Actually, last year's defending champion. Picked off your first win of the year in the Coupe. He also runs the limited Sportsman Modifieds. Pretty tough competition this year. I don't think it's been a bad start to the year, but this has got to feel pretty good on double points night to capitalize for the win. Yeah, it feels great. We struggled all year. We got in that wreck on the second race, and just struggled since then. And now, hopefully, this thing will go. I'd like to thank my grandfather, Adam, my mom, my dad, everyone that helps out, because without them, it wouldn't be possible. All my sponsors, Route 5 Auto, Fort Worth Farm, Gary's Property Maintenance, Erik did his truck in. Without them, possible. Great run, Michael Danforth Jr., your Sportsman Coupe mid-season track champion for 2025. Next up will be the 600cc Granite State Mini Sprints. After that will be the Ridge Runner Hornets. I'll turn it back up top, but if you guys want to meet, congratulate one of these drivers up close and personal, they will be over in the turn one meet and greet area once they finish their podium photo.
So a great job right there, and nice job on the track there for our buddy along the way too, and a dominant effort. Danforth is used to being up near the front, and this is going to bolster him at this point of the season in a big, big way for his grouping, and so a well done run there, and he's still getting patted on the back there, and the family down there in the winner's circle as well, and that's good to see. And then they'll clear them out of the winner's circle, and then we'll get our next group underway here. Until that happens, we're going to send it back to Joshua Smith, the CEO of our stations, and he's got some advertising information for all you folks out there. So we'll send it back for this break, and we'll be back with more racing action at Bear Ridge. I'm Ken Wells, Chris Smith here too as well, and we'll return in a couple minutes.
Appa know how. 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 Appa know how.
When you need 24-hour roadside service, contact Legendary Towing and Recovery at Bradford Auto Works. Their drivers are qualified and trained professionals. They follow guidelines by the American Automobile Association that is put in place by major motor clubs. Here are just some of the services that Legendary Towing and Recovery offers while working with local and state police when needed. Emergency roadside services, lockouts, and jump start, including EV and hybrids. To name just a few. When you need 24-hour roadside service, contact Legendary Towing and Recovery at Bradford Auto Works. At Cottage Hospital, they know understanding your medical bills can be complicated. Their staff is available to help answer your questions. They take your privacy seriously. Learn more about HIPAA and how Cottage Hospital collects, use, share, and protect your information on their privacy page. You can find information about their billing and insurance policies, paying your bills, standard charges, financial assistance, obtaining their pricing for services, and more at their patient financial services page by visiting their website at cottagehospital.org. A message from your local healthcare providers at Cottage Hospital. They understand a hospital visit can sometimes be challenging. At Cottage Hospital, they strive to make your experience as pleasant as possible. At Cottage Hospital, they take your privacy seriously. The Health Information Management HIM department, also referred to as medical records, is responsible for the health information of their patients. You can request your medical records by visiting their medical records HIM page at cottagehospital.org. Upper Valley RV at Erik's Auto Body in North Haverhill can take care of your RV roof problems with Flex Armor. Flex Armor sprayed RV roofs have been changing the RV world since 2005. Flex Armor combines spray polyurea technology with RV construction to create a seamless sprayed RV roof. No more caulking is required to keep your RV watertight. Upper Valley RV at Erik's Auto Body can explain how Flex Armor will eliminate the need for future repairs.
We are 7 to 5, Monday through Friday, 82 Business Park Road in North Haverhill.
I have a story to tell. It's the most important story of my life because it's about the love of my life, my husband. I'll tell you about the time he returned a hero and brought other soldiers back as well. I'll tell you about a man who brought honor to a nation and pride to our family. And while I'm telling you this, I'll show you his medals and the flag that I now hold to my heart, and pictures of him with our kids and grandkids. I do this not only to respect my husband's memory, but so that others remember their own time with him. And I do this for myself, because his funeral is for me too. This is a day we'll always remember for a life worth celebrating.
This is Adam Smith with Rickard Funeral Home and Cremation Care of Woodsville. Our support for Bearwood Speedway reflects our passion for community involvement. We extend this passion to providing exceptional care to our families during challenging times, ensuring a respectful and professional service.
So we're back here waiting for our next class to come up here. We've got a good, ample group of them, about 18 of them, coming up here in the midgets. And we'll let them get warmed up here, and they will go to full action here as we're about half done our features here, rolling right along, getting close to the 9 o'clock hour. Hope you've enjoyed your time with us tonight. And they're off to the races, starting off with the 68 and the 628, both up front.
Ken, I'll be completely honest with you. I think these might be a different portion of the ones we saw earlier that we don't have a lineup card for. I'm looking at our DMA.
Man, these go.
These things are ripping. I wish we could call out the driver names. I mean, you can check me if I'm wrong here. I'm looking at the DMA Midgets lineup. I'm not seeing the same people.
No, absolutely not. We get the Extreme Dirt Car DMA Midgets.
I will say this, though. You know who will know is Norman John. So if we really need, we can call it over to them. I don't know if they have a...
Let's see what they get to say,
yeah, exactly.
And we'll bring them in right now.
Number 1, New Hampshire, making his bid to come to the front. Then at 72... Jacob Green right there. They are going side by side. Prada slides up on the turn number 1, and we are going back at turn number 4. And it's the race leader, Ryan Green, followed by Mark Biggett, Johnny Sharp Jr. in a 5, and that's 72, and Jacob Green and Cody Willett go wheel to wheel. They bounce off each other up turn number 3, but they keep on pouring it on out there. No stopping them as they try to get to the front of that 68. Ryan Green is 7-foot pace there. Mark Biggett trying to reel in your leader, though. Donnie Shop Jr. running third. Jacob Green in the 72. Cody Willett in the number 6, and the 1 New Hampshire of Richard Potter. 51 of Tegan Daniel. 13, and that is Josh Wright. And our latest scrambles and bias here, number 34, back of the pack there is Todd Davis. Ethan Crew going by in the number 75. Ethan off his usual mark out there. That is a fast car with 0 and 8 round gets by. Definitely problems with the number 75. And Frank Eldridge in the number 4. In number 11. And that is the vehicle Dable. Oh, wow, what a run. It's stuck in place. We've got Jacob Green charging up alongside of Mark Liggett. Liggett is on the outside, Green on the inside. They will take it all down the back chute there, full throttle. And Jacob Green makes the pass up in turn number 4. Gives second place to Jacob Green in the number 72. Mark Liggett right now will settle for third place as our leader comes by here. Number 68 of Brian Green. Boy, when you have a good start like that, usually you have a good finish. If Boy Green is showing the lights out there tonight in that number 68. Granite State Mini Sprint, courtesy of R.E. Hinkley here this season. 5 laps to go. 15 laps go up on the Sables and Sons scoreboard, and 5 laps to go. As Jacob Green is your race leader. He is coming out of turn number 4, and right behind him is the 72 of Jacob Green. Brian Green is in the 68. So the Green family will be going for bragging rights at the breakfast table here soon as Jacob trying to catch up with his brother Ryan out there as they battle away through lap traffic. Boy. This time by, the Green boys will take the 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go, and they are running nose to tail, and boy, Jacob Green had to race the wheels off the car to get to second place, and he is there. Jacob has been the second place. Ryan has been the leader here throughout the event, and let's see what is going to happen. Race fans, we're bringing up the checkered flag, and which one of them will take it home? It will be Ryan Green in the 68, Jacob Green in the number 72.
So there you have it, Ryan Green there pulling away at the end. And you know, as competitive these cars are and as quick as they are, they barely touched each other. Very good driving by everybody. Not even anything close to fracturing each other along the way. And just a solid job of piloting these very quick cars with the wings on top of them and a clean race, huh?
Well, I think unlike a lot of the dirt stocks and some of the late models you might see here, like the coupes, these are open wheel. So if you get together, you know, I think a lot of the wrecks you'd see with how quick they are, I think they could get pretty brutal. So I would imagine it's there's a lot of driver experience on the track right now and a lot of mutual respect.
So they're going to bring them out to Victory Lane, number 68 and the 72, and then the 6. That's the 1, 2, 3 finishers there. We're going to get a chance to get our man on the field down there. Does a great job helping us out there, Justin Bolio. And that's 3 features in the books here now as they're picking up their pace a little bit. You know, it really helps when they don't have any wrecks along the way, doesn't it?
It does. It really picks up the, like you said, the pace of the race, gets it going. The fans want to see, as fun as sometimes a pile up in front of you can be, this and that, the fans came to see good, hard racing. And so far with the coupes and these midgets, that's what they've seen. I mean, both races have been tight, competitive, and it's one of those things you can't take your eyes off the track.
And you can't beat the price here. $18, you get all this racing, and if you are a senior citizen or a teen, $15. I mean, for like Chris said, they start racing about 4:30, 4 o'clock, maybe even earlier. But we get back here about 5. They're already in full bore, so you really can get 6 hours of racing if you want for $15. What the heck?
I mean, you cannot beat it in the state of Vermont, maybe New England. I mean, as far as the deals go. And like we were saying earlier, I mean, it's probably cheaper to come here, watch the race, and buy some track food than it would be to stop by McDonald's or Applebee's or something and get the family dinner. And it's good food. We can attest. We've been eating it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Justin Florio coming up here now. He's going to give us the interviews for the third, second, first, and here he comes.
There, you were trying to catch your brother, but couldn't quite hold him off. Looked like you might have a little faster car, but overall a decent run.
Yeah, thank you. I know I give a big shout out to Ryan. He's been fighting this whole season to get something here. But, you know, I just like to thank all the sponsors, BC Motorsports, Green Brothers Fabrication, Bob Skidoo Power Center, 600 Power Sport, 600cc Performance, you know. That's all.
Great run. There, wait for that photo. Then we'll have a word with Ryan Green. He gets the brag prize this week out of the brothers at the dinner table. Great run for you. Look like you had a good car, got out there, and good fast track.
Yeah, it was a really good track tonight. Anticipated a little slicker tonight, but it worked. The setup worked. I'd really like to thank my whole team, Martin's Yard Rescue, Green Brothers Fabrication, 600cc Performance, and also the Moses family for sponsoring our race tonight.
Great run. There. Great treat to have those guys here with us. The touring division that comes periodically, the Granite State Mini Sprints. Next up, one of our weekly divisions, the Woodsville Power Equipment Ridge Runner Hornets. Woodsville Power Equipment, right in Woodsville, New Hampshire, right up in the same area as Red's Auto Spa. Tonight's sponsor.
And so the Ridge Runners will be up next. That's an exciting group out of this run here. They'll have to clear out the folks that are in Victory Lane, and they'll get them lined up on the track, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of them. They'll have to get around the track a couple times, and then they'll be ready to roll. We're going to send it back to headquarters here, and I'm going to see if I can get the song Eastbound and Down. That's Trucking, Speed, Rebellion from Smokey and the Bandit. This is pure horsepower, energy, and southern charm. Perfect for an old school modified race. Let's see if we can bring up some Jerry Reed, Eastbound and Down. Ken Wells, Chris Smith back here. We're back underway. We got 4 laps in of this race here. That is, of course, the Wild and Woolly Ridge Runners, who like nothing better than to smash each other every chance they get.
Well, I'll say this about shaking things up tonight. The 66 of Kyle Morris, who's in 5th place in the standings, is leading. Actually, as I say that, he's getting overtaken. There's a tough battle between
Nathan
Morris,
Sargent, too, huh?
Yeah, and Morris in the 43, where is Sargent? Oh, look at that.
But neck and neck,
yeah.
5th and 6th here. They're battling up front. We're halfway through. This is a 20-lapper. One of the main features here tonight. We got a couple more big features coming up here before they get done here. And, you know, they've done a good job at barring the crashes. There's nothing you can do about that. And when you consider there was almost an hour to get the kids right along, they've done a pretty good job.
I would say so. And I think my favorite part about calling this Ridge Runner race with the 66 is he just got overtaken. But I'll talk about Kyle Morris in the 66. Earlier, we were talking about paint jobs and working on your car and how much time you spend on cosmetics. And I think you know where I'm going with this. I had said earlier that if I was running a car, I would put everything into the engine and I would spray paint my number on and let it run. And I think they made this. They must have been listening, because this is like a beat-up Civic frame.
I think he had his kid spray it, too.
It literally is like a nearly illegible 66 with spray paint and an American flag on the back.
I'm good with that American flag.
I love that. I think the fans do, too. And it's not the painting of an American flag. He has a literal American flag stuck on the back of his car.
That must really be stuck good, because you're roaring around the track at 70 miles an hour, and that's just Old Glory is just flying all over the place.
I'll tell you what, I don't think it's affecting his aerodynamics at all.
Nope.
It's him and 43 have pulled away from the rest of the pack.
It
So
looks brave on the backstretch, I think.
no fancy scheme, no nothing, and he's got the speed.
Spencer Braley, he is taking over the number one spot and trying to pull away, and he's hoping for no caution. We're 3/4 through this race with 15 laps in the books, 5 more to go to get us through these Wild and really Woodsville Power Equipment Ridge Runners.
Well, I will say this. We were talking about earlier before the break that Kevin LaForest and Zach Audette had the same amount of points, and that I thought I'd see a mid-pack battle. Don't count them out yet. The 43 has a big lead, but here we are. The duo of leaders are carving through the pack, and right now they are 4th and 5th. Right now looking to overtake the 84, who is in 3rd. That would be the 84 of someone that's not on our sheet. So
Ryan Sayers, the 94, is in 19th, and he's way up towards the front of the pack here.
But, yeah, they're cruising. And I would say the 43 is coming into lap traffic. I think that's going to affect things. He got by the 66 of Morris, but I'll tell you what, Spencer Braley has his work cut out for him if he's going to defend this lead against the champs.
And Kevin LaForest is in 1st place, so he isn't hurting himself being in 3rd right now, is he?
No, he's not. I mean, if he secures even a top 5 finish, as long as he scores above Zach Audette tonight, he's going to stay number 1. But Zach Audette is right behind him. And again, they're tied coming into this. So double points night is really going to shake things up.
Ryan Sayers is the one who's really going to improve his standing here. And the checkered flag is out here. Around he goes. And Sayers is going to end up 2nd. That's the 66 up front with the flag. And Morris is going to be 3rd. So he did not hurt himself at all on double points night. And this one is in the books here. The 4th feature. Walk down.
We had a slow start tonight. We were a little worried about the kids' night, maybe slowing things down, but we're rolling here. There's not, I'll knock on wood here, but we're not seeing those wrecks that sometimes you see that take about an hour to clean up.
And that's true. And we didn't have the long extended random draw along the way either. That was that's a time saver. And I guess we just happened to catch it. Talking to the boys next door, they told me that every race is different, every track is different, and they do it their own way.
I'm curious. There's 4 cars coming into Victory Lane right now.
One of them shouldn't be there.
Exactly.
I think it's the 95 is not supposed to be there.
Someone spotter did them wrong on this.
And he stopped. 95 stopped dead too. And he's like, "Oops, sorry, I don't think I'm going to be in this class here at this point."
Well, the 95 sticks out. Who is that? The 95. He's on our list down here. That's Taylor Sawyer. So Ryan's sibling. So maybe just going to congratulate Ryan on the top 3. As they're getting out.
Well, you usually don't park in the infield, but hey, it's not for me to call.
You know what? There's no lines, so I guess go where you need to. But the funny part about the 95 is it's the only hatchback, I think, at Olive Ridge. It looks like one of those Volkswagen Golfs with the hatchback rolling. And I guess if it works, it works.
Yes, it does. He's just going to amble in behind it. And let's see what we got on our man down on the field as far as his commentary. Interviewing these drivers.
I'm sure there's some sponsors and some folks who want to thank.
Yeah, I gotta thank Paul Sunoco, Pearl Poly Funeral Home, my dad for everything, my brother for getting the car ready, and my girlfriend, and I think that's it.
Great run. Great to have you here again. Now we're going to have a word with car number 66, Kyle Morris. After a devastating week last week, brought it back up there on the podium. You had a great race with Spencer. Couldn't quite hold them off, but you're still going to be very happy with this.
Yeah, definitely very happy. It's my best finish ever. I want to thank my biggest sponsor, Katie Barrows, and that's about it.
Great run. Congratulations. Your 2023 champion, Spencer Braley, is also your 2025 mid-season track champion. Great race for you. You guys put on a good show. It looked like a lot of fun.
It was an absolute blast. Got to give a lot of props to these guys here. I had to work for every bit of it. It was a good time. Thanks to April and Butch, the track, my wife, a lot of people, Cornerstone contractors. Appreciate you guys so much. Wish you could make it out here. See me get down here. I haven't been able to yet while you've been here, but we'll get there. It was awesome. Thank you.
Great run. Great.
So a nice job there. Late model sportsmen are now on to the track, trying to warm up and get ready to roll as we go to feature number 5 here at Bear Ridge. I think moving right along there. Not many in this competition. We've got 7 on the track right now, Chris. And so they are getting all lined up and ready to rumble here in this class. And this is a competitive class, too, and it's one of the superstar classes that they have here at the track.
Well, these are one of the, I won't say only, but I would say they're the driftiest cars that they pull out of the track, because you'll see 3, maybe even coming around turn 3, 4 wide of just sideways cars. And the second they get around turn 4 to the start-finish, they're all straightened and ripping it, no brakes, into turn 1. It is exciting to watch, and there's a reason there's still a packed crowd here at 9:16 in the nighttime.
Yes, and this is of course, the High Country Dispensary's late models. So we said one of their elite classes here. They've got 12 positions here. We've got 7 of them, 8 of them on the track here tonight, trying to make some hay, with number 2 on the inside line right there, and that's Josh Buzzio, and he's in 7th place. So he's got the inside, and the third one right behind him is the 04, Kelly Miller, and I mentioned him because he leads the standings right now at this point, and he'll start 3rd.
Well, Kelly Miller has his work cut out for him. He must have more wins, because the guy in second, Scott Heath, that's the 16 car, they share the same amount of points at 306 points.
Wow.
So tonight's race is going to mean a lot for the top 3, as the 6X of Mark Cole with 295 points is not too far behind the both of them.
And these late models, they're a little bit dinged up. Not too bad, though. It looks like the noses take some of the abuse on these rigs. But they're quick, and they're V8s, too, folks. And you can see the brake lights on these. I like that feature about them there. Sometimes you can't on some of these other models. These you can, and they're going to go pretty quick before they get around here. On tar, they're even quicker, but on dirt, they're fast.
They are quick, and I'll tell you what, I was surprised to see, as they're going to go green here, coming around the next time, is there's only 8 of them out there on the track.
Out of the 12 competitors.
Which shocks me, because they're one of the more popular divisions, you'd think.
And double points.
It's double points tonight. Exactly. I mean,
in the standings, they're like this. Miller Sr., Heath, Cole, Higgins, McAlpine, Grant, Buzzio, Lyman, Durham, Moulton, Eldridge, and Flanders. And we've got 8 of them out of the 12. So 4 are not involved here tonight. And they're going to try and go green around turn number 4. And they break out of it, and they're green. And a good jump for number 2 right out of the blocks.
As they're coming around turn 1, that once again is the number 2. And the 04 of Kelly Miller Sr. is right on his back just to start the race. Already coming around 1 lap into the race, and he's getting bombarded by the leading standings. That is Kelly Miller once again. And the 34 car, the 34, is running in these late models, and he's not in, correct me if I'm wrong, Ken, he's not in the top 12 for our standings. There's a couple guys out there.
No, he
right
is
now.
not. Trying to work his way up into the standings portion here. Number 16, he's in 4th place in this race right here. And rolling along, here's Scott Heath, and he's number 2. Or actually, he's a dead heat for 1. Excuse me. And Chris told me that already. They are dead heat 1. So they're the first place people is the 04 and the 16. And they're in 2nd and 4th right now, trying to compile more points. That's a double point night. So it's big, big, big here, folks, with 4 laps in.
Well, these guys are not afraid of contact, but I'm amazed by how stable they can keep their cars after taking a big hit around the turn. I mean, if you're up ahead of a guy and you brake before him, it's just, there's no stopping the hit, and they just are keeping it straight and keeping it running. We come around, that too is holding everyone off. Ken, is he in our top 12? I'm not seeing.
77 just about stalled. The caution flag came out, though, because he's lost power. That's the 77 coming around turn number 1 over there. That's Sean Lyman. And Sean has lost some BTUs or a cylinder or something here, Chris.
He seems to be getting it running again. We're going to hope he keeps it going. Is this a wrecker's pulling out? Oh, yeah.
I know, and now he's backing off. He had his nose out there.
Yeah. He thought he had it.
Something was misfiring on that, and now he's going to come out again just to make sure the patrol is all set on that side.
I couldn't figure out who our number 2 was at first, and then I was mentioning how they're bumping and banging. That's the 2B, but I couldn't see the B because of the black paint from getting hit on the side. So that's leading our race right now is the 2B of Chad, like you said, Chad McAlpine He's in 5th, so if he can hold off the leaders and come away with a win tonight, that'll mean a lot to his championship hopes, especially with double points on the line.
And one of the track officials here is out on the middle of the track, making sure they go around this carnage over here. And he's doing a good job of that. All the drivers can see him plainly. Now they'll stay on that outside and work off a few more laps. We got 5 in the books. Got a ways to go in this division as we wind things up. It's been a good night here. A good crowd on hand, delicious food, and the weather held off. How about that? Because we've had some bad luck with our scheduling and getting the races in over the course of the year.
Well, we were nervous with the downpours and on and off raining in the area, but Bear Ridge saw none of it. It was actually so dry that they were out with a hose spraying down the track. So maybe they could have used it, but I'll tell you what, for this wrecked car out, on double points night, wrecking out this early, you got to hope that he can get it into the shop or into the pits and get it back on the track.
That's a lot of points to lead. You can't lose double points to everybody else on the field here.
A DNF tonight is a season killer, especially a mid-season championship tonight and double points on the line.
Oh, there are 12 more races.
There are 12 more races, but it is a long race to recovery when everyone's doubled your points. But definitely, like you said, there is still opportunity out there and still trophies to be won, as it seems like every week we have a new theme here at Bear Ridge. Like we said, tonight was Kids Night. If you're just joining us or joined us after that, they had about 60 cars, I think. I would say that's a fair number to say, from all divisions. And they got some of the kids of all ages. I say kids. There were some older folks, I think, noticing.
Yep.
But you take a couple laps around and you get to view Bear Ridge from the driver's perspective. I think that's very cool.
Now, we're scheduled to come back here in August on the 2nd and the 30th. If there are any replacement races, we'll certainly let you know. The radio station will let you know there. And if we don't race again, Chris has decided to move to Missouri. So he's sick of the northern New Hampshire, Vermont area here, and he's going to book it but he's going all the way, about 2,000 miles, right?
Well, I know I can't get too sick of it. I think the further you go, the more you realize the area we all live in is just so gorgeous. I mean, genuinely, we, I do appreciate everything we have here, but I'm going to the journalism school so I can get a little better at talking to you guys.
Yes, and you're doing well, that's for sure. You're already ahead of things in a big way. But when you start talking to me about seeing the University of Alabama come into your new college, I said, wow, the level of sports is unparalleled.
Yes, University of Missouri is where I'll be attending. Mizzou is SEC, so we're seeing Alabama this year. They're going to Texas A&M, and there's a couple other big names for just football alone. And then basketball, that's a whole other beast.
And they probably sell out there too. But of course, students get a break, right, on tickets, and they get an option to buy them at a reduced price. How does that work, Chris? Tell me.
So I paid you buy a Zoo Pass, that's ZOU, and it's a flat rate of $200, which I already covered. And so you buy that in the summer.
What's a normal person have to pay for that? Like myself, if I was out there. Because I'm planning on seeing Florida State this year, and I got nailed for a lot more than $200.
Well, luckily, the perks of having a student ID is if I pay the $200 now, I can claim tickets to any game. It's not pro bono because you pay. But, as far as an SEC watching Alabama come in, that's an insane deal when you're looking at where you can sit. But, I would say you're going to go down and see Florida. You probably spend a lot more than I do.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that. No doubt. I'm not going to pass for college student, that's for sure. And we want to remind people that we're on WTWN Wells River 105.1. And on the AM circuitry, that'll be 1100. And WYKR out of Haverhill, New Hampshire, 101.3 FM. That's our legal ID call letters. And glad to have them backing us up here on this 4-hour race show. We started doing it last year, and we're still enjoying it. The advertisers are into it. Hopefully we're getting a lot more people added to it every single week. It's been tough with the rain getting out there. This is our second race. We were scheduled for 7. We're going to come as close to that as we possibly can over the course of the season. You just can't predict Mother Nature. I mean, when it rains hard 3 miles from here, not a drop here, what are you going to do?
I mean, and I think I would say that their main concern was a lot of people not coming because they thought it would be rained out. But, if you know Bear Ridge, they will do anything to get the cars on the track, and that's what they did tonight. Luckily, they didn't have to go to such extreme lengths as the track was already dry. But I think a lot more people got the memo as it's 9:25, and there's still folks funneling in here to watch some great racing.
Yes, and we've got 10 laps in, 10 laps to go.
As that's the 2B. Once again, Chad McAlpine is holding off the points leaders in what could end up being an upset if he keeps pulling away here.
And this is our 5th feature of the evening, rolling right along here. And that 04's got a beautiful flag on the top of it. I didn't notice that earlier till the light hit it just right. There's an American flag on that roof. That looks super. Well, check him out. But around this time, it's hard to show you the angle. Check that out, Chris.
Oh,
see
look
that?
at that.
And that's a beauty. We can see it right in front of us. Somebody did a beautiful artistic job there on that 04. So I salute his efforts there. And that's Kelly Miller Sr., and he is tied for the points leader. And he's running good here tonight.
We got to find out who's doing these decals, who's designing all
Some
this
of them are
stuff.
simply better than others, and that 04 is right there. He's in third place right now. They're all trying to catch number 2, who's been running strong here from the get-go, Josh Buzzione, and he is having a tough time, almost gets turned sideways, and 34 trying to get a piece of that action too, but it comes down to the 04 making a hard run inside, neck and neck with the 34 as they come down the backstretch, and we've got 14 laps in with 6 laps to go. Coming around turn number 4, they look to straighten down. It looks like Buzzione is has a little bit of problems there, rocking and rolling a little bit on the other side. The 04 is pretty stable. He's a veteran. He's used to being up front. He's going to be probably the guy that's going to give him the most heat down the stretch here with only 4 laps to go on this. He's neck and neck with the 34, and there's the 2 is lingering in around the outside, too. He made a good run in this class there, and it's still trying to get a piece of the pie. Buzzione, and we'll see where it all ends up.
I would say this. I think the 04 of Kelly Miller would have a lot easier time passing, but that 34 car just will not let him by as they're neck and neck for second place. If they stop banging into each other, they may be able to pass the 2B of Chad McAlpine as he's just taking advantage of, as there's the 2X.
Chad McAlpine is doing a great job there holding everybody off as he comes down with the lead on the backstretch. And when they come back around, the man with the flag, they're going to only have one more flag, one more lap to get around, and it is tight up there. He's holding on by 1 car length, and now there's 4 cars, and coming around the outside of the 34, trying to make a run for it on the backstretch as we're getting tight here down the corner. They come around turn number 2. Inside is the 2. They come around hard, the 34 around the wing, and he's going to win by a car length. Right in front, the 04 finishes third, the 2B in second, and that's your 1, 2, 3 finishers. That was a good race. It's number 34 coming out of nowhere at the end. Well, not out of nowhere because he was lingering in the top 4, but he put the pedal to the metal late.
I think he found his next gear just that last 2 laps alone, as he's got to be hyped. I mean, I don't know where he sits in the standings. As I said, he's not in our top 12, but wherever he is, he's going to be on our list next time. I'll tell you that much.
No doubt about it. And that double points tonight, he might start showing up on somebody's list. Is my projection here, I would say.
Well, I'm excited to see Justin's pro interview here. We're going to hear about
who are you?
Who are you? Yeah, and I think a lot of people here are wondering that too, because everyone gets the same program.
Yes, that's true. That's true. They do a nice job of printing that baby out, but you're not going to get every car sometimes. Looked like he was a number 4, and he just added the 3 on it to make it a 34 late here, and we're going to send it down to our man in the pit area, Justin Bolio, and here he comes right now.
Take it away down there. There, folks, it does not get any better than that. That was an amazing race. A lot of fun to watch. I'm going to thank the High Country Dispensary there out of Newport, Vermont, for sponsoring the limited late model division. Once again, Red's Auto Spot for sponsoring tonight. We're going to thank WYKR Radio. They are here, and this is live. And thanks all the listeners that are listening at home. Kelly Miller Sr., your third place finisher there. It could have gone either way. There is a lot of cars right up there for the hunt from side by side. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I guess. Thank you all the fans. There. Left a word with Chad McAlpine, the 2B. Good run for you. Probably kind of a heartbreak. You held him off all but half a lap.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting race. Richie beat me in my own car, so that's good. We've been battling with that thing, trying to get it fixed. His first race out here, a lot of respect for him. I want to thank the whole family, Chris, Kayla, my father-in-law, my kids that come here every weekend, all your fans. And I want to give a big shout out to Bear Rich for actually letting us race here.
Great run. First time here in a limited late model this season, and he put on one hell of a show. Richie Simmons, the car number 34. That looked like a lot of fun.
That was a blast. You know, it's been a little while since I've been in the car. We've had a lot of struggles with this car, trying to get it together. Chad's done a good job. He owns the car, so I got to thank him and his wife for letting me run it. And wow, I don't ever remember a modified hooking up like this thing.
It looked good. Congratulations. Great run.
So the mystery man, that's Richie Simmons. His first time at the track. He's 1 for 1. Taking first place. That's not a bad effort for your first time out, huh?
Well, you know, the guy he beat owns his car. So,
but he seems okay with it.
You know what? It's a win-win there. Now he knows his car's going to run fine. He was complaining about it. And
he may walk to 34 next week.
He may need to have to pick that up for standings. But the good thing about that is he should get the first place championship points for the 2 times because Richie's not eligible.
Okay. That would be funny. You know, it is his vehicle, right? But that 2B did very well. They were in second. And the 04, he was tied for first. So he moves up in the standings because the gentleman he was tied with, Scott Heath, was further down the line. So he moved into first all alone. And we want to shout out to our listeners in Oregon, Germany, Belgium, New York City, Boston, Washington, and D.C. And, of course, we're global, you know. And here comes the grouping that everybody's been kind of holding on to their hands for over the course of the night.
The Sportsman Mods.
And waiting for the Sportsman's Mods. This is the Crown Prince here, the last feature of the night coming up. And this is the big one, folks, right here.
I would say this has the most cars on the track of any race we've had tonight, Ken. Let's take a count here. As let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, and maybe more coming. 17 on the track. I mean, Bear Ridge is not huge, and these guys spread out. There is going to be lap traffic to talk about, and that 00 of Jason Gray is your points leader by quite a bit. He's your former track champ for like the past 4 years in a row.
Jeremy Huntoon is going to start up in the second position with the number 42 holding down the lead here. That's Robert Tucker. And so that's your 2 guys up front, and they are setting in 10th and 11th. And that is going to be hard to hold with cars like the 00 coming up from behind you. Exactly. And Max Dolliver is in there too. Thomas Placey, Todd Buchwald, and Mike Ryan. I just named the top 5 right here. This is going to be a competitive race here. And that is a great way to top off our racing card here at Bear Ridge. And it's been good. They've stayed on schedule. They've done a good job. And, you know, a couple weeks we were here, there's nothing you can do when you have like a 45-minute break dedicated to, and not dedicated, but when you have a crash, and the young lady was there and she was all right after, but you have to make sure that everybody's safe as the number 22 actually stalls on the front stretch here. They're going to need a little assistance, but they're just in their warm-up laps here, and it's worked very well. And we want to thank the sponsors that have carried us tonight, and certainly a shout-out to Joshua Smith, who's done a fine job there keeping us rolling back in headquarters. We are locked in to coming in here twice in August. Actually, the one on the 2nd is here, and then I believe the one on the 30th, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, I believe that's over in North Woodstock, but I know we're scheduled for a pair of races in that month, and then I believe another one after that. I'll have to double-check when I get back, but be sure to tune in to WYKR, and also thanks to Justin Borleo, who gave us the shout-out during the break. I don't know if they noticed that on the air, but nice job by him, showing that we all appreciate each other here on 101.3, and certainly WTWN Wells River 105.1, and on AM dial, that's 1100, and again, WYKR in Haverhill, that's the 101.3 FM. But we're getting this long-term listeners through our digital options, aren't we, Chris?
We are. Ken, have you ever listened to AM radio?
I have, once in a while. Yes.
I had a conversation with Josh earlier today about it, because I don't think I ever have tuned in. I think up until I started driving, I didn't even know really what it was. I just thought it was FM's backup.
And AM used to be king, and the signal difference, of course, I'm sure Joshua told you there. One goes straight up into the air, and the other one will bounce off, other buildings and stuff. So the FM has a little bit more carry range, but AM radio was number 1 for a long time in America and globally. for sure.
You know, you keep learning, no matter how old you are.
Yep.
You always learn.
So they're underway here, and we're going to have a rip-roaring battle here. You've got 17 vehicles on it, and we like to watch Jason Gray, who started here in this grouping about 13th, and he's going to have to work his way up. But you know what? He's got time to do that, and his car is so easy to pick up. That 00 in pink really stands out, doesn't it? But right now, the 42 is trying to send a message and say, hey, I'm here too, and he's rolling pretty good right now. That's Robert Tucker.
Well, honestly, on a night like tonight, we have a yellow flag. The 32 seemed like he had fallen off out of turn 3.
They thought he had, and now so the yellow comes out immediately to make sure that he's going to be okay at this juncture of the evening.
But yeah, Jason Gray has his work cut out for him tonight. I mean, you can see he's got about 10 cars to pass before he thinks about first. But it's a night that he really needs to. When double points are on the line, if he wants to maintain his spot on the throne this season, nights like this are crucial.
Absolutely. We got 3 laps into it, so we'll stall a little bit here now over the course of the evening. Busy time of year. I'm going to go home and try and get 6 hours sleep, hopefully. Get up and head up to the racetrack up in Derby Line. That'll be motorcycle racing. And I'll say one thing for motorcycle racing. They don't care if it rains, snows, hail, mud bath, flood. They run those bikes.
I'll tell you, what is the worst weather that you've had to call a motorcycle race in? Have you had some?
I've only had one time in 5 years where they actually stopped it. We got a deluge last year, and there was so much water came off the mountain there. It was like the rain we had briefly here earlier, but not here, but we had in the neighborhood. And it washed up a massive chasm in the track. And other than that, and they had thought about running then, just dumping dirt in it, going from there. They run under all those conditions. They just don't stop. It's a different breed. Car drivers are brave and exciting, but you got 4 wheels under them. When you got 2 wheels under you and they're flying 30 feet through the air.
No roll cage.
I think you're going to be a little crazy. And I think some of them are.
It takes, I think it takes a head case to be able to sign up for something like that. I don't think I could do it.
I've driven a dirt bike, and I had mostly street bikes. I had 6 or 7 of them, a couple of Harleys along the way, and they're not comfortable. No. And they're built for jumping and landing, and if you land on the front tire, you're getting busted up.
You're gone.
And there's
guys
more than 2 weeks going by where somebody doesn't break their wrist or break their collarbone is a big thing they like to break.
I think we should.
Well, they don't like to, but I mean, it almost seems like they do because they're always doing it.
We should do stats on we should do stats on dirt bike injuries versus bull riding injuries and see what we can.
Well, I don't think anybody can beat bull riding. You talk about a whole different breed of character, a bull rider. That's just like being in a 35-mile-an-hour car wreck every 10 seconds. That's not good for you. That's a good way to get hurt.
That is I'll tell you
an
what,
excellent way to get hurt, actually.
It's got to be hard to get insured, health insurance for the bull rider. It's got to be. You put down occupation. What do you even bull rider?
35-mile-an-hour crashes basically 2 or 3 times a night.
You better hope you're married to a nurse.
And they do wear helmets now, at least, and a lot of them are wearing vests. I see too.
I'll say this:
and the vest last year, we saw the vest save somebody.
Yes,
because that bull, 2,000 pounds of hamburger, kicked him or stepped on him. And you can't take that hit. You're going to break every rib in your body.
It is brutal.
And that vest protected him.
The vest is crucial. Everyone had a vest, but I will say this week when we went to the Pond Hill Rodeo here at Bear Ridge, there was probably, I would say, 2 guys with helmets on. I was shocked. I could not believe it.
You know what I was thinking with them is the bull rearing back and hitting his head on your head. That is my fear. It's one thing to land on the ground. That hurts, but if the bull headbutts you in any way, you're getting busted up.
Well, and it's not a pride that you're gonna fall off. I mean, the fact of the matter is,
falling off is the safest thing, I think.
Yeah, after your 8 seconds, the bull's not gonna stop.
And then the bull steps on you sometimes are good or kicks you. And the bravest guys on that track are those clowns.
Yep.
They're nuts.
You can
they can grab in that steel barrel. That's where I just hide and stay in there. I'd stay in the barrel.
I would stay up in the top of the stands, as far away as possible.
I would watch the event.
I would watch the event on TV. I ain't going to be anywhere near that thing.
And speaking of events, we're down to our last feature, the 6th feature of the night. We've enjoyed ourselves profusely. We're going to be back here on the 2nd and the 30th. Again, a shout out to Joshua Smith. That man puts in some long days.
he has put in the hours for us tonight.
Because he usually has help. That's Logan. Logan is on the DL tonight, I think. Is that right?
That's what I hear.
Okay.
Usually Josh has a sub he can throw in, which is Logan. But
well, he is the boss. It seems like he's got people to do these jobs that he may not want to do. So I hope he's enjoying himself back at headquarters here tonight.
He's a manager/player is what he is.
Oh, my goodness. So done a good job down there, and we brought this ship racing back for 2 years. We've enjoyed it very much. We thank him for allowing us to be part of it. And watch your schedule there, because we may pick up another race here. We'd like to, I'm sure he'd like to get one in before his nephew heads out to Missouri. But that is going to be Joshua's call as far as that goes. They're back running again. They're running strong. See if we can pile up a few laps. They're 3 wide coming out of turn number 4, and then they straighten out. They like to go 2 by 2, but number 42 has got a lot of horsepower underneath him, and he's rolling around the track pretty nice.
As he really is going to have his work cut out for him holding off the rest of this field. I mean, it is probably, I know, there's no probably about it. This is the tightest division of racing you're going to see at Bay Ridge. So every week counts. There is no lead that is safe from anybody in this division. We talk a lot about Jason Gray dominating, and though he does have a 40-point lead, a night like tonight could jeopardize that. And I don't think there's anyone in this division that isn't talented enough to win a race on any given night.
Yeah, you got 5 super drivers in the crew here, the 5 top ones that we mentioned earlier. And the thing is, we talked about the coupes. They're great. The late model sportsmen, they're great. These midgets and minis tonight, they were running too, but a lot of people come for this division right here.
It's why it's pushed as the last division running. You got to keep the crowd here, and this division does it. It is one of the most competitive, and it's the closest racing I think you're going to see here at Bear Ridge. Is there's so much contact because the cars are so protected, and this is the one car, correct me if I'm wrong, at Bear Ridge that the driver sits in the middle of the vehicle.
That sounds a lot safer right there. Jason Gray, who started 13th, is now up to 8th. We got 9 laps in. They don't always run last. They run in the middle sometimes too. They move them up. But tonight, I guess their plan was to just keep them up there. Now we have a car off the track.
He was in second place.
And now he's going to throw the caution. He gives him a chance to get back on it, but after that, he will not. And now 10 laps in, it's going to be caution down again. Sometimes you'll see tracks that will, if they can get off the track out of the way, they'll let them hang there. That is not the rule interpretation here, though, in Bradford. And so they will put the yellow out again with 10 in the bank.
Well, he had the right mindset. He got out of the way. He went into the infield. I thought they were going to let him run. But that's the 18 of Matt Lashua. And right now he is 19th in the standings right now. And I'll tell you this much. He was running second, and he was fast. Tonight was going to be a big night for him as far as the double points midseason championship goes. But just not to be, as they get 2 wreckers out to assist him.
2 wreckers. So we're going to have a stall here. So we're going to throw it back to our last musical selection of the night. And that is one for the legends. You know the name. You know the number. The black number 3. Charlie Daniels penned this tribute to none other than Dale Earnhardt himself. It's the Intimidator. And it hits just as hard as a bump in turn 4. Coming up next, the Charlie Daniels Band. The Intimidator. Right now. That was Charlie Daniels giving a nod to one of the greatest to ever grip a wheel, Dale Earnhardt, the man they called the Intimidator. If you don't get goosebumps, you might want to check your pulse, folks. Written as a heartfelt homage to Dale Earnhardt Sr. after his tragic passing at the 2001 Daytona 500. Daniels performed the song live at several memorial events and racing fundraisers in Earnhardt's honor. The song touches on specific traits like his black number 3 car and aggressive driving style that made Earnhardt a fan favorite. Daniels was a longtime racing fan and often attended races with his bandmates. After the song's release, many NASCAR fans reported playing it during memorial laps, the 3-lap, and even at grave sites as a personal tribute to Dale. We're back underway here, cranked out a few more laps, but we had a crash coming out of 3 and 4. The car is back reactivated, but they're going to have to line them up again. We've got 17 in the books here. And and they're going to reline things up. That will take a few more minutes. So we're going to send it back to Joshua with our last group of advertising for the night from Bear Ridge. So we'll send it back to headquarters while we have this break in the action with some more great people who have businesses in our area coming up right now.
Don't let the summer heat put you and your vehicle to the test. PTO's Auto Repair is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle repair needs. Foreign and domestic, new and used, or clunker, it doesn't matter. With plenty of warm weather ahead, PTO's Auto Repair can make your ride cool again using the latest technology in the industry. Chris, Terry, and Wyatt have decades of experience you can depend on. Stop by or call for an appointment. PTO's Auto Repair, Bradford.
When the burgers sizzle and the lemonade pours, you'll want a deck that truly soars. Batchelder builds with skill and care, so you got the best backyard anywhere. From sunny grills to evening chats, we craft the space for summer laughs. So fire up the plans, don't wait too long. Visit vtcarpenter.com and get your summer strong.
Your backyard isn't broken, it's just boring. And that office entrance, yeah, that could use some love too. Murray's Market in Bradford will add the beds, borders, and bushes that bring life to your yard and make your business look like it means business. Whether you're a cafe, clinic, or just finally getting around to adding that walkway out front, Murray's Market in Bradford will help you grow places. Murray's Market. We dig what we do. You will too. Open daily, 8 to 5.
Has your car driven over too many frost heaves, potholes, or muddy ruts? Does it handle poorly or veers towards the side? A state-of-the-art four-wheel alignment from Moonlight Auto often results in a smoother ride, reduced tire wear, and better gas mileage. Like Moonlight Auto Repair on Facebook, Moonlight Auto Repair in Fairleigh, 51 Lake Morey Road at the junction of Route 5 and the Lake Morey Road. Call 802-333-4300.
Where a bargain becomes a steal, that's Bargain Building Products, located at 1315 U.S. Route 5 North in Fairleigh. Look no further for a great deal on doors and windows. Bargain Building Products is a proud authorized dealer for Ply Gem and Silverline windows and patio doors. They can order wood, aluminum, clad, and all vinyl. They can also order custom replacement windows. It's where a bargain becomes a steal. Bargain Building Products, 1315 U.S. Route 5 North Fairleigh. Open Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturday, 8 to 1.
Ken Wells and Chris Smith back here. We got 23 laps in now as they went back under racing there. Hope you enjoyed the advertising runs we've had tonight, and we enjoy having them with us here. We look to serve them, and if you ever need any advertising information, make sure you get down to WTWN, WYKR, and certainly check out the staff at at Haverhill, along with Wells River radio stations there. And you'll be able to get the best deal you can possibly get in the area. And radio sells. And they say that $1 spent on radio is worth 14 times that by the time you get back what you put into it. And that is a great stat. And, of course, radio has always been strong, while newspapers and stuff like that have had their problems on the bigger scale. They certainly come back the other way. And Jason Gray, remember when he started 13th? Guess where he is now, Chris?
Second place. He is right behind the 42. And I tell you what, that's the 42T of Robert Tucker.
And Robert Tucker's going to be saying, uh-oh, here comes number 00 on my rear view mirror. He's going to make it interesting down the stretch they come.
I cannot imagine Jason Gray doesn't get a pass by him here. But I'll tell you what, Robert is not an easy car to pass. He's low in the standings, and he has been fighting for his life tonight as the two of them may enter lap traffic if we stay green long enough here.
And that creates a lot of pressure. It's a good kind of pressure, though, as you try to get it done right at the end. Double points here all night long. They've had a great night of racing. They've dodged the weather from Mother Nature that was circling the area. Good crowd on hand, and a nice job there all the way around. He's got the hand up with 5, signifying 5 laps to go at this point as we wind things down, getting close to the 10 o'clock hour.
It'll be a 35-lap race. Jason Gray has only 5 laps to get past Robert Tucker, and I'll tell you what, it's not going to be easy. This is going to be another close one.
No, Tucker is doing a good job. Gray getting right underneath his rear bumper. He's only a few feet behind him, tries to pass him on the straightaways, but Tucker just holding that line very nicely. A 00, trying to get back him with a big horsepower on the backstretch, but can't quite do it because Tucker's got equal horsepower, it looks like, at this point, Chris.
I would say that Tucker is having a night of his own. And a night like this, if Jason Gray doesn't win it with Max Dolliver as far back as he is, I don't think it's going to kill Gray to not win this race, even though it's double points. I will say, though, the 42
needs it worse.
Needs it bad, and I think he's driving like it right now. As
he's got a half a car lead there as they go tough into the first corner, and now the 00 trying to beat him with the horsepower on the outside, and he passes him on the backstretch only by 3 or 4 feet as they come around the corner, and we've got 1 lap to go. They're coming down neck and neck. Gray has a car lead now as he tries to hold the corner. He slides a little bit. Tucker looks to get underneath it. They come back to the backstretch now. The 42 putting the hammer down, but it looks like Gray is going to have enough to get around him and beat him to turn number 4. Around the stretch they'll come. Tucker flags out. Gray wins it. Tucker in second. What a great race. Great run by everybody involved right there, and what a way to finish the card tonight at Bear Ridge.
The 3 of Jeff Huntington came away with 3rd place there.
Great job by Tucker. Probably a little bit of disappointment there, Chris, but a great job for him overall. And they are going to come back into victory lane, and we're going to pull the plug on our evening tonight as we wind it down here. It's been a great card. 6 features there. And Tucker in second. Jason Gray started in 13th, came all the way around and able to do the job here. And certainly a big shout out to Joshua Smith back there keeping us airborne. We're going to be back here in August. And if it's earlier, we'll certainly let you know as far as that goes. And for Chris Smith, I'm Ken Wells. And we're going to call it a day from Bear Ridge here in Bradford, Vermont. Have a great week, everybody, from local radio stations here in your territory, WTWN, WYKR, and certainly associated with everybody else here, WYKR, as we said, WTWN. And we appreciate the efforts of all these stations here, WYKR in Haverhill, New Hampshire, WTWN in Wells River, 105.1, and AM 1100 and 101.3 FM. This is Ken Wells. Have a great week, everybody, from Bear Ridge in Bradford, Vermont.